writing. Nagkaroon nga lang ng, tawag mo dyan, nagkaroon lang ng resistance from the Koreans. So from 1910 to 1945, nagkaroon din naman ng development, no, sa kanila. May mga infrastructure na binuo, nagkaroon din ng magandang supply ng electricity, but not for the benefit of Korea, kundi para sa Japan. Kasi mas madali, kunwari, maganda ang road network sa Korea, mas madali i-extract ang resources ng Korea papuntang Japan. Ganun, kaya siya binuo. Hindi para i-develop ang Korea. But of course, nagkaroon, ano ba ang naging impact nito sa mga Koreans? So, sa kanilang political and social aspect ng dynamics ng buhay po nila, nagkaroon sila ng kamalayan na dapat hindi tayo ginaganto. Magkaroon tayo ng iisang identity as Koreans. Kailangan natin mag-resist. And then, next slide po. Nung pagkatapos nung World War II, kasi di ba natapos lang yung pag-occupy ng Japan sa Korea nung World War II, no? Pagkatapos ng World War II, so nagkaroon sila ng independence. Kaya nga lang, no, ang Korea ay nahati sa dalawa noong panahon na yon. Ang ginamit nila na term is ang ginamit nila na identification kung saan hahatiin yung 38 parallel, kung napakinggan nyo po yan, 38 parallel, doon po nahati yung North at South Korea. Bakit? Sino ba ang nanalo nung World War II? Sino pong magaling sa history? Sino pong nanalo nung World War II? Walang nanalo, joke lang. Ang nanalo kasi, no, di ba yung US, no, tsaka yung Allied Forces. Magkakampi ang Soviet Union noon, tsaka US. Ang ginawa po nila, pinaghatian nila ang Korea. So, yung North, sa Soviet siya, sa Communist, ang South napunta sa US. Sa sinabi natin naman na kapitalista, no? Yan. Doon po sila nahati. And, nung pagkatapos kasi ng gera, actually, nagkaroon ng, di ba yung Cold War na sinasabi, kasi gustong patunayan ng dalawang malakas na bansa na to, ng Soviet at ng US, ano ba ang mas magandang kaisipan? Komunismo o kapitalismo? Kaya pinaghatian nila itong North at South Korea. So, next slide po. Yan. Although, di ba siyempre nakalaya na ang Korea, pero hinati po siya. Dito lalo nagsimula ang mas mabigat na problema ng Koreans. Kasi gusto nga nila, kaya nga sila nag-resist against the Japanese, kasi gusto nga nilang makawala, no, magkaroon ng sariling identity. But because of the Cold War nga, yung Soviet tsaka US, mas lalong naguluhan ngayon ng mga Koreano. Parang ano ba? Komunismo ba o kapitalismo? And dumating pa sa point na in-invade ng North Korea through the help of the Soviet Union tsaka ng China, yung South Korea. Doon nagkaroon na kasi talaga ng North at South Korea. At doon, di ba, kung makikita natin, nung nabanggit ko kanina, maski nung panahon ng Hapon, tsaka even before, nagkaroon ng mga infrastructure, nagkaroon ng kuryente, no, sa Korea. Pero lahat ito nawala dahil dun sa gera ng North at South Korea. Na until now ay active pa rin hanggang ngayon. May gera pa rin sa North at South Korea. Meron lang silang armistice. No, parang ceasefire lang. Pero hindi pa resolved yung gera. Hanggang ngayon po, kung makikita nyo, di ba, makikita natin yung difference ng buhay ng North at South. Kasi yun nga, they still, although yung North Korea, gusto Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK ang kanyang totoong pangalan, and South Korea is Republic of Korea. So Democratic People's Republic of Korea is North Korea. Kasi nga, dahil ang kanyang kaisipan ay komunismo. Next slide po. Yan. So nung 1953 doon po natapos ang Korean War. So makita natin na gross GNP natin per person is $67 lang. No? And makita na talagang devastated. Dito nga sa pictures na nakalap natin nung panahon na yon, ano na lang parang nangangalakal na lang yung mga tao, kinukuha na lang kung ano mga pwede nilang gamitin na panggatong, etc. Tapos nagre-recycle na lang sila ng kung ano man yung naiwan, no, after the war. So makita natin, ma-establish natin noong 1953, sabi nga nila, ang Korea ay mas mahirap pa sa mahirap. And they even, kapag may mga nakausap po ako na matatanda doon sa Korea, and nalaman po na from the Philippines ako, thankful sila, no, na tumulong tayo noong panahon ng Korean War, pero malungkot sila. Kasi naabutan nila na ano talaga lugmok talaga ang South Korea, pero napaangat niya ang kanyang sarili. Pero yung sa atin, well, we still have a long way to go, but nagsisimula po tayo. Parang kahit matagal, basta pataas tayo. No? Next slide po. So, ano meron sa South Korea in the 1960s? So, overpopulation. Bakit? Kasi sabi nga nila, post-war boom ang ginawa dahil they need more people para magtrabaho. Kaya nagkaroon ng overpopulation. And because of the overpopulation, syempre, sa limited resources nila, hindi mo mahati-hati para kanino mapupunta. So nagkaroon ng lack of resources, lagging industry, talagang wala pa, back to zero sila. Hindi pa sila yung South Korea as we know it. Defense spending, syempre, at war pa rin sila So sa halip na mapunta sa development ng kanilang bansa, napunta sa panggastos para sa gera because they're still at war. No? Political instability, kasi syempre, may faction pa rin, may mga ultranationalist. Kapag sabi ultranationalist, yun yung talagang wala pwedeng pumasok na outsider. Ang i-promote lang natin yung atin, Koreans lang. Pero during that time, they enjoy support from the US. No, kasi nga, hinati nila. So, si US yung parang naging big brother nila that time. But of course, nakita naman natin na may hidden agenda si US. Bakit siya nandun? Lack of capital and low level of administration dahil nga mahina, mapangit ang nila, yung how they organize themselves, how the government provides its support, no? Next slide po. And then ngayon, i-discuss naman natin, paano sila, di ba, in-establish natin na mahirap ang Korea, South Korea. Ngayon, anong ginawa nila? Next slide po. Yan. Sige po, pwede pa, sa next slide. Yan. Nagkaroon sila ng concept na semolundong. No? Yan. Semolundong. So ito yung sinasabi na new community movement or new village movement. No? It's a political initiative at first. Bakit? Kasi nga, gusto ng government noon na magkaroon siya ng hold sa tao. No? Pero sa grassroots ang approach. Yan. Ang gusto niya is to modernize yung rural area. Kasi ang South Korea, di ba nabanggit natin, saan sila kilala? Kimchi, Samgyup, and sa K-drama kapag nanonood kayo, kadalasan ng mga fini-feature nila doon ay mga pagkain from South Korea. Kasi they try to develop their own agricultural areas, no? Kasi naniniwala sila that they can achieve food security while increasing their income. Yun yung mindset, no? Through agricultural development, no? So ano yung gusto niya mangyari? Ito, kung nakikita niyo yung Commonwealth, self-help, diligence, and cooperation. Yun ang three principles of Simulundong. Self-help, no? Tulungan mo sarili mo. Diligence, magsipag ka, ayusin mo trabaho mo, and cooperation. Kasi hindi pwedeng ikaw lang. Kahit you help yourself, kahit masipag ka, kung wala ka namang kakampi, katulad po natin, o kung tayo po individual farmers, masipag tayo, kaya natin tulungan sarili natin, pero paano pag dumating ang panahon, no, na kailangan natin ng tulong ng iba? Kung wala tayong hindi tayo part ng isang organization, hindi tayo part ng association or cooperative, no? So, kaya pinopromote nila ang cooperation. Kasi kung ang mga maliliit o yung mga mag-isang tao na may principle of self-help and diligence, tapos nagsama-sama pa sila to help each other, doon nila nakita ang kagandahan ng Simulundong sa rural development. Yan. Ang goal nila at first is infrastructure development and community development. Next slide po. Yan. So ito, the spirit of Simul movement, diligence, yan, nabanggit, self-help and cooperation. Kasi ang ginawa ng government po ng Korea noon, dahil nga sila, limited ang resources, so humingi na sila ng tulong sa tao. They made it a political and social activity to give, parang hindi naman give, to share the responsibility of nation building, no? Hindi parang gusto ni government, hindi iasa sa gobyerno. Hindi lang government 'yan eh. Pero malaki ang part ni government, no? To make it work. Malaki ang role ng gobyerno. Pero at the end of the day, naisip ng Koreans, nasa masa pa rin. Masa pa rin ang tatrabaho niyan. Pero dapat bigyan namin ng gobyerno ng enabling environment for these groups, for these associations to thrive. So sige, next slide po para makita niyo yung context, no? Yan. So dahil diyan sa Simulundong, ano yung nangyari? Nagkaroon increased income. Using the Simulundong movement, nakadevelop sila ng variety ng rice. Itong Tonggil rice, no? Na sabi nga ito ang isa sa pinakamahalagang variety na produce ng Korea kasi ito ay high yielding, no? Na variety. Tsaka kasi one cropping lang ang Korea dahil 4 seasons sila eh. So one cropping lang sila pero they made this variety para ma-cover yung pangangailangan nila for rice. Heavy rice eater po ang Korea. Pero ngayon, ang per capita consumption nila ng rice is nasa 50 kilograms. Ngayon po. Ang Philippines ay nasa 120 kilograms ang per capita consumption. No? Hanggang ngayon. Tas second is, yan. Hindi lang nila inasikaso ang economic aspect, 'di ba? Hindi lang yung sa makadevelop sila ng variety or makabenta sila or makadevelop sila ng kanilang economy. Second is i-improve ang quality of life. Pati yung mga bubong, banyo, kitchen, ginamit nila parang dinevelop nila, no? Kasi noon nakikita nila ang progress, no, kapag meron kang sanitation, toilet, tsaka area kung saan ka nakakapagluto. Kasi noon wala namang concept ng kitchen sila noon nasa bahay eh. community yan, parang community kitchen. Ngayon, meron na. Nasa kanya-kanyang bahay na. No? It's, well, it's Western. Dahil nga naman nasa US, parang inalagaan talaga ng US ang South Korea. And then third, infrastructure. And fourth, reformation. Ito, wala tong mangyayari kung walang pagtutok sa komunidad. So, ito yung reformation na parang gusto ipakita na as a group, dapat tayo marunong tayong mag-participate, mag-cooperate with each other. Paano mangyayari yon? So, nagkakaroon sila ng town hall meetings. Yung kumbaga sa atin, parang kapag sa mga cooperatives natin, sa mga associations natin, di ba may mga GA tayo, pero sila, hindi lang siya business. No? Yung mga town hall meetings sila ay an avenue for them to, kunwari, to check on each other. Halimbawa, doon town hall meeting, hindi lang pag-uusapan yung trabaho o ilan ang kinita natin, ilan yung na-produce natin. Pag-uusapan, balita ko may sakit yung anak mo Balita ko yung nanay mo may problema na ganyan. So, talagang ini-instill nila sa grupo nila na hindi lang tayo nandito para kumita o hindi lang tayo nandito para ma-develop yung ating economic status. But as a family, so yung concept of community. Next slide po. So, ito yung mga sample na mga ginawa. Kasi nabanggit na rin. Next slide po. Yan. So, kung makikita po natin, noon, medyo hindi pa ganong kalawak o kalaki yung nade-develop sa mga lugar nila. Kasi sa kanila, pag sabi roof, very important ang roof system. Bakit? Kasi nga, nabanggit ko, may 4 seasons sila. So, kung pangit ang roofing system nila, kaya makikita mo na parang sign of development sa kanila, yung magandang bubong. Kasi kapag winter, no, nababalot ng snow yung bubong, kapag pangit yung bubong mo, hindi ka maging komportable. Pero kapag mapaganda mo yung bubong, so parang, okay, nakakaluwag siya sa buhay. So kaya laging binabanggit yung roof dito. And then dito sa agricultural development, nag-e-expand na sila, hindi na lang sila production ng rice or kahit ano, kundi gumagawa na rin sila mga fertilizers, no? Nag-mechanize na sila as early as 1980s. So mayroon na silang process of mechanization. No, next slide po. Next po, ma'am. Yan. So ano ba? Paano siya naging successful? Ano ba? Bakit gusto ng mga tao na mag-subscribe sa Simulundong, no, sa principle na to? Kasi meron, ito yung binabanggit ko kanina na may share ang gobyerno. So ang gagawin ng gobyerno, sige, anong kailangan nyo sa area nyo? Roads, infrastructure, bahay, etc. Sige, kung sinong pagsasali dito sa Simulundong, sabi ng gobyerno, bibigyan namin kayo ng semento. Pero yung labor inyo na. Yan. Di siyempre, napakadalang ng semento noon. So, siyempre, yung mga farmers, okay, may incentives. Sige, tatrabuhin namin to. Na-instill na sa kanila yung self-help, diligence, and cooperation. Trinabaho nila. So, binigyan sila ng semento. Nakita na nag-perform. Kasi, siyempre, i-check nila. Sino mga performing at non-performing na communities o yung Simulundong Village. Noong 1972, may benchmark agad sila. Sino ba ang maganda ang ginawa? O sige, kung sino magandang ginawa, dagdagan pa natin yung semento, dagdagan pa natin ang bakal. Yan. Anong gustong palabasin dito ng Yan. Yan. Sige, dito na lang sa baba kasi kung mawala ulit. So, yan makikita natin, no? Gusto nilang i-motivate yung ating mga villagers, no, na part ng Semulundong, na meron, na may kapartner nyo ang gobyerno, no? Yun ang gusto nilang i-establish. Pero, the government, since limited ang resources niya, ang magpapaboran lang talaga ay yung mga performing. No, it's a common strategy. Kung sino nagpe-perform, yun yung bibigyan. But, hindi ibig sabihin yung mga underperforming or hindi ano yung standards nila, hindi pasok sa standards ng and qualifications ng development as set by the government, hindi ibig sabihin na maneneglect sila. May bibigay pa rin, no, na suporta, pero hindi nga lang ganun kadami. Yan. Next slide po. Yan. So, ang sinasabi, meron silang grading system. No? Kaya mahalaga ang monitoring and evaluation system, lalo sa management and sa administration. Kaya kung nakikita nyo sa atin, di ba, may mga bumababa para mag-validate, nakikisama. No? Kasi kailangan niya mahalaga yung field validation. Kasi report is just one thing. No, magsasubmit kayo ng mga reports, paperworks. Pero pagbaba mo naman, wala. O kaya, nagre-report tayo, yung iba nagre-report na hindi naman nare-reflect talaga yung totoong problema. No? Na kapag bumaba yung magva-validate, mas matutulungan tayo na ma-contextualize o mas ma-explain further ano ba yung kakulangan sa atin, ano ba yung gaps. Kasi may mga bagay, kunwari, tayo, nakasanayan na natin, na parang, kunwari, nakasanayan natin, hindi man sa masama ito, nakasanayan kunwari natin, yung tubig natin galing sa poso. So pagpunta natin, hindi natin siya i-identify as problema. Kasi, ano naman bata pa lang tayo, nagpo-poso na eh. Pero yung mga magva-validate or yung nagmo-monitor, nag-evaluate, pagbaba sa ground, sasabihin, bakit nagpo-poso pa rin kayo? Mas efficient kapag may supply na kayo ng tubig. Kasi nag-validate kami sa kabilang town. Meron naman ng pwedeng konektan at kabitan ng supply ng tubig. Pwede nating isama to as one of the areas for development. Yan yung yan yung mahalaga, no, na role ng monitoring and evaluation. And mas makikita yung grade, no? Kasi ang mga Koreans talaga very sila hindi man superficial. Pero mas sila sa they put premium, no, sa best. Hanggang ngayon, kaya kung nakikita nyo yung mga sa K-pop o sa K-drama, yung mga artista, di ba, lagi magaganda, maayos ang itsura. They put premium talaga sa best. Kung sino lang ang best, yun ang tututukan nila. Yan. Or kung hindi man tututukan lang nila, yun ang mas bibigyan nila ng suporta. The rest, sakto lang, di ba? Etneb lang yung bibigay. Pero yung iba, talagang mabigat ang ibibigay. Next po. Yan. So, syempre, yung government, what they do is to provide policy and support. Bakit? Para ma-develop tong sistema. So, nagbibigay ng subsidies, education, training, tsaka yan, monitoring. Para matulungan ng mga communities to self-govern. No? Hindi lang aasa sa gobyerno. They can govern themselves. Yan tamo. Meron silang parang binibigay na nila yung responsibility doon sa grupo. Kaya nagkaroon may nagbanggit si ma'am, di ba, cooperative. No? Merong cooperative na malaki sa Korea, Nonghyup NH. Yan ay collection ng farmers. No? Ngayon, kung titingnan nyo, sila isa sa pinakamalaking bangko sa Korea. Hindi lang sila cooperative, bangko na sila. Actually, may account nga ako dun eh. Wala nga lang laman. Pero may account ako. Kasi gusto kong itry. Ano ba, parang land bank sa atin, pero owned by cooperative to. Malaki. And then, meron na rin silang para may education plan, meron na sila insurance, may shipbuilding na sila. Alam mo, lumawak. And hindi lang sila production, hindi lang sila basta cooperative. No? Kasi, they themselves, sila mismo nag-develop ng sarili nila. Sinubsidize na sila ng gobyerno. And pag mas gumaling ka pa, mas malaki pang subsidy binigay. Ginalingan nila masyado. Talagang buhos talaga ang pera sa kanila. So, ito, makikita natin. So, the local communities, no, understand the demands, ano ba yung kailangan nila, plan the program, practice. Siyempre, practice and implementation. Siyempre, hindi naman yan one time, big time eh. Wala namang progreso nangyari overnight. No? Check. Yan. Nag-ano sa kanila yan. Gumana sa kanila. Next slide po. Yan. So, ito. So, hindi, pwede nang tignan. Methods of rural development na ginawa nila. No? Nagsimula sila. How to start? May tanong muna. Siyempre, dapat ang bawat action natin, that it answers a question. Ano ba yung need? No? So, ano gusto natin? Tapos, siyempre, may nakita na tayo, paano natin ma-achieve yun? What type of business? O, saan galing ang pondo? Diba? How to organize? Mahalaga talaga yung pag-organize ng ating mga sarili. No? Kasi nga, diba, self-help, diligence, and cooperation. Lagi may cooperation. And then, how to reinforce, ito, mamaya pupunta tayo, the leadership of Semul leaders. Kaya it's very important sa isang organization na may mapili kayong mabuting leader. No? Business plan and monitoring, syempre, dapat alam natin kung paano natin i-monitor, kung nakikit ba natin ng target or hindi. Next slide po. Baka kaya namamatay-matay yung kanina pa ako eh. Sige po, diretso natin. Okay na? Sige. Okay lang, sige. So, paano nila na-achieve yung rural development, no? So, kung makikita natin, from 1970 hanggang 1980, 1 year lang, pero makikita nyo yung GNP, lumaki. Per capita yan, ha? Per tao. So, ibig sabihin, ang isang tao, noong 1970, 257 lang siya per year, dollars. Noong 1980, 1,393. So, tumaas ang living condition nila. Yun, percent. 1980, 100% may kotse. Pwedeng ma-access ng kotse o sasakyan. Tapos yan, di ba mahalaga yung roof? No? Laging binabanggit. Sabi, ba't bubong? Kasi nabanggit ko nga, mahalaga yan sa 4 seasons dahil winter. No? Ratio of electricity no 1970s, ngayon 100%, lahat may access na. Toilet, ayan no, 1980s, deflush na sila. Tapos telepono, 100% may access sa telepono. And yun, yung sense, yung number 7, yung sense, ang ibig sabihin niyan is how they view no, yung sarili nila. Can-do spirit. Kung mapapakinggan ko sino kapag-training dito sa Korea, laging binabanggit yung can-do. Can-do spirit. Na hindi pwedeng hindi. Trabahuhin natin, kaya natin yan. Yan. So, next slide po. So, yan. Siyempre, sabi nga, joint solutions. So, hindi lang siya sa government, hindi lang siya sa mga village leaders or village members ng Korea, kundi lahat yan. Ine-encourage sila. And ito, maganda, hinighlight sa report ng Semul Undong, women participation, women empowerment. No, pero kung titingnan, patriarchal lang society ng Korea. So, pag lalaki, mas angat. But they value, no, yung role ng women dito. Kaya yan, mga kimchi making, di ba, nakikita yung mga adyuma, yung mga nagagawa ng kimchi, ng pagkain. So, when it comes sa agriculture, daging mahalaga yung role ng women. Next po. Yan, nabanggit na natin. Next, power supply. Sige, next pa po. Yan, makikita yung infrastructure development. Of course, siyempre, nagkaroon ng growth sa rural areas. Ngayon, nagkaroon tayo ng mga cities, no, mega cities. Na nung nag-modernize, nag-mechanize, nag-shift na ngayon. Kasi yung dati, sa isang hektarya, kailangan ng 10 tao for labor. Ngayon, dahil nag-mechanize sila, isa na lang. Kaya yung 1 hectare, so madi-displace yung 9. Lahat yan nagpuntahan sa syudad. No? But it's another issue. Another issue yun. Gusto lang natin parang bigyan ng tingin. Sa atin, sa Korea, ganun na nangyari. Na parang ngayon, nagde-decline. Mas mababa ngayon yung age. Mas matanda ngayon yung mga nasa farm. Kaya nga, di ba, sino mga nag-seasonal worker dito sa Korea? Yan, meron. Sir, yan, congratulations. Magandang experience. Kaya sila nagpapadala na ng mga seasonal workers from other countries kasi wala na nagtatrabaho sa sa lugar nila. So, sa atin, 'di ba, ititweak natin 'yan. Dapat ang development, yan yung na-envision ng ating kalihim, ng sekretary natin, na ang modernization ay nakaangkla at nakasentro sa agricultural development. No? Kasi sila ang Korea parang humiwalay, parang nagpunta into ibang aspect of the economy. Pero sa atin, pwede natin gawin, nakasentro pa rin sa agricultural development. Sige, next po. Yan. Yun nabanggit, syempre, the cultural aspect, yung can-do spirit. So hanggang ngayon, yung mga wala sa kanila kapag kunwari pumunta ka sa ospital, no? Tapos sabi, Doc, masakit yung yung ulo ko. I-check ka nila kung hindi ka pa naman talaga masakit talaga. Hindi, uwi ka lang. Kaya mo pa yan. Hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin sila. Kaya mo pa yan. Iano mo yung sarili mo. Mag-diet ka lang. O kaya uminom ka ng maraming tubig. Hindi mo na kita bibigyan ng gamot. Ano ka muna? Kaya mo yan eh. Mo muna. Help yourself first. Kasi pag binigyan kita ng gamot, baka magkaroon pa ng aberya yung other organs mo eh. Ganun sila. Ganun ang Koreans until now. Kasi yan tayo, can do. Kaya natin. Next po. Ayan. Siyempre, pag tumaas ang development mo, tataas din yung educational level. Sige, next. Next po. Yan. So, in summary, ito yung na-achieve nila. No? Material, so improvement of living environment, agri-infra, increase in income. Cultural, modern spirit and attitude, change of people's perception on farmers, and grassroots democracy. Then, syempre meron contribution sa local, so increasing community total income, local development, and reducing regional income gaps. And then sa nation. So, ganun ang tingin nila, from local to national. Parang palakasin mo muna sarili ko bago ako tumulong sa malakihan. Yung amin muna. Eh lahat sila inayos yung sa maliliit nilang lugar. Naging okay. Hanggang sa ito, exportation, innovation in agriculture. Sige, next na po. Sige, next. Ito lang, focus tayo, success factors. 5 big success factors na pwede nating makuha. Leader with a strong leadership. Responsibility of village leaders. So, yung village leaders, talaga siya yung siya yung make or break ng grupo. Proficiency of civil servants in Korea. Yan. Yung syempre, mga partners natin, no? Sa mga taong gobyerno, yan, civil servants. So, kapag proficient sila, ibig sabihin, alam nila kung anong ginagawa nila, alam nila kung paano makikipag-deal sa mga tao. Active participation, no? Both sides yan, government, tsaka yung sa communities. And implementation of rural development systematically by women's associations and youth groups. Hindi lang siya hindi lang siya yung sa mga usual natin na dominated by men. So they acknowledge the participation and inputs of women and youth. Ayan, so skip na natin to. Ito, grading villages. Yan, may stage 1, no? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So, basic village, self-help village, and independent village. So, yan, sa different grades, stages na yan, malaking incentives. Ito, kahit sabi independent village ka na, no? Bibigyan ka na ng kapangyarihan ngayon ng government of Korea to strike a deal on behalf of the government. Paano ibig ko sabihin? Kapag independent ka na, sasabihin nila, sige, may gusto makipag-usap sa gobyerno. Hindi, ikaw na. Kung magkano kitain mo dyan, sa'yo na yan. On behalf of the government, ikaw na, trumabaho. So, ganun kaganda ang relationship ng government sa Korea at ng private sector niya. Kasi kapag naniniwala siya na kaya mo, ibibigay na niya sa'yo. Pero yung iba, basic village, self-help village, may mga incentive, may bibigay pa rin incentives yan para ma-develop ka into independent village. Sige, next po. And syempre, may recognition, no? Recognition sa mga leaders and associations. Di ba? May kita niyo mga pagkakapareha sa sistema. Next po. Yan, sample, certificate, tapos binibigyan ng medal. Nakakatuwa nga, may nakasalamuha ako na Semul Undong leader. Hanggang sa, pag nakikipag-meeting siya, lagi siya may dalang medal. No, bit-bit niya, maski luma na. And they take pride, no? Ang mga bata, kapag nakikita may medal, parang mataas ang respeto nila, no? Lalo kapag aral yung mga bata sa Semulundong. Next. Medyo mahaba pa yata. So, yeah, may leadership forum. Last year, mapalad po tayo na naka-attend po tayo sa Semulundong Leadership Forum na represented ang F2C2. During that time, si Director Inting ang umattend dito sa Leadership Forum. And this year, we're also planning to participate kasi ito yung sinasabi nga na hindi lang siya exchange of best practices and experience, kundi pwede tayo makatisod dito ng partnership, no? Na pwedeng maibaba natin, mapunta sa ground, yung partnership on how they do Simulundong. Sige, next po. Yan, self-help, nabanggit na natin yan. Ayan, paulit-ulit tayo self-help and participation, di ba? Parang, yan talaga i-inculcate sa atin. Next. Sige, next po. Ayan, ano lang to? Kasi ang naging UN Secretary General dati ay isang Korean. So, ang Simulundong naging UN Heritage Concept. No, next. Yan. Next. Yan. So, hindi lang sa Korea ngayon na may Simulundong. 74 countries have Simulundong. Sa Philippines, meron din tayo sa Region 6. No? Tama, no? Region 6. Meron din sa Region 3 ang alam ko. Region 3, Region 6. Ayan. So, ba't ko dinidiscuss ngayon? Siyempre, Philippine Agriculture Office in Seoul. Ano ba yung opisina namin? Bakit kailangan kong banggitin sa inyo? Kasi ang trabaho namin sa Korea is, number 1, market access and trade facilitation, no? Agri-fisheries investment, promotion, and official development assistance and technical cooperation. So, next po. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng opisina namin? So, policy advocacy, ano ba yung interest ng Pilipinas kapag magkakaroon tayo ng negotiations with Korea? No? Pangalawa, secure ODA o Official Development Assistance. Yun yung mga projects na ini-implement sa baba. Yung mga rice processing center, dati ano yan? Yung binibigay ng PhilMec, mga RPS. From Korea yan. Yung KOICA na RPC na dinevelop. So ODA siya. Grant siya na binibigay sa Pilipinas na ina-apply natin yan. So lahat ng mga grants, lahat ng mga projects under kunwari KOICA or any agency sa Korea, when it comes sa agriculture, sa office po namin dumadaan yan. Market access, ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung mga produkto natin makakapasok sa Korea and vice versa, paano makakapasok yung produkto ng Korea sa atin. And technology search. So, explore collaboration in tech sharing, training, and research. So, kunwari po, yung mga regions po na regional field offices na kung nasan po kayo nabibilang, nagkaroon po sila ng, kunwari naisip nila na magkaroon ng knowledge sharing trip, kunwari sa Korea. So pwede ako po yung mag-host sa inyo doon. Next po. So ngayon, kung nakita nyo kanina, di ba yung per capita GDP ng Koreans ay nasa 1,383 noong 1980 dollars. Ngayon, $36,000 na. No? Nakita nyo yung laki. And yung population nila is just 51.7 million. So, bumababa na ang population. Negative birth rate ang Korea ngayon eh. So, talagang, although ibang usapan siya, pero tumaas ang cost of living sa Korea. Next po. So, marami tayong top 5 natin na export destination ng Korea. So, marami tayong partnership sa kanya. And lalo ngayon, merong Philippines-Korea Free Trade Agreement, no? Na mas magiging malaya ang pagpasok ng mga produktong agrikultural sa kanila. Sa atin kasi parang binigay natin is Hyundai, Kia, 0% tariff. No? Pero sa atin, by 5 years, for example, in the next 5 years, ang banana natin, 0 tariff na papasok ng Korea from 30%. No, 0 tariff na siya. And others. Pero mas highlighted yung banana kasi malaki ang market share natin banana. Next po. Yan, katulad yan, ang banana nasa 73.2%, Kaya lang, data to noong 2023. Ang data ng 2024, 62% na lang. Kasi syempre, mayroon tayong problema sa production ng banana na ngayon, mabuti at andito si Asik Philip yung ipinush po niya yung Banana Industry Revitalization Program. Palakpakan po natin si Asik Philip. No? So, kasi nakita natin yung problem, so dapat meron tayong plano. Hindi na siya yung development plan, revitalization kasi taking into consideration yung actual na nagiging problema sa baba. Hindi lang siya yung theoretical, yung theory na statistics lang and economics, hindi. Nakita kung ano talaga yung actual problem sa ground. Kaya very participatory yung approach sa paggawa nitong development plan na to. At nakikita nyo, pineapples. Ang pineapples, ibig sabihin yan, 99.6% ng pineapple sa Korea ay galing Pinas. Ang papaya, 100%. Kung may makita kayong papaya sa Korea, Pilipinas lang yan. No? Siyempre, coconuts, 23.7% and byproducts. Malaki ang Thailand. Next po. And ano pa yung pwede natin export? No? Kalamansi, octopus, avocado, tsaka okra. Yan. Pero yung kalamansi, inaasikaso pa natin yung market access niyan. So yan. So may mga engagement tayo, may mga trade fairs tayo, baka meron na sa inyo sa mga susunod, gustong sumama at i-present ang kanilang mga produkto sa Korea. Meron tayong Soul Food and Fisheries Expo. So pwede po natin i-present po doon. Lumapit lang po kayo sa mga amad nyo, sa AMAS. Yan. Next po. Sige, next please. Yan. So may mga projects tayo sa with Korea. Ito nga nabanggit ko. Yan. Mga ODAs. So hindi ko na siya i-discuss isa-isa, pero hina-highlight ko lang na meron support binibigay ang Korea sa atin para mas ma-develop at mas ma-enhance natin yung system of doing things. Kasi syempre iba pa rin yung may development perspective coming from other areas, etc. Next po. Sige, rat-ratin mo na ma'am. Next mo na lang. Ayan. Thank you very much po. So, bakit po natin kinontextualize muna yung sa Korea? Kasi sa atin po, ang opisina po natin sa embassy, sa Philippine Agriculture Office in Seoul, no? Sa atin po dadaan yang lahat ng mga projects na may kinalaman sa Korea. Pero when it comes to organization, when it comes to development ng ating mga kanya-kanyang lugar, ng kanya-kanyang association, kanya-kanyang cooperatives, and even sa DA, no, sa opisina, maganda na itignan natin ano bang ginagawa ng ibang bansa, anong best practices nila, no, na pwede nating ma-adapt, na pwede nating kaparehas, pero hindi naman necessarily kukunin natin na verbatim o na yun na as is. Hindi. Napakahalaga yung term na i-contextualize mo o i-adapt mo ang isang magandang bagay na mag-fit, no, sa yung kultura, sa yung economic status, sa inyong society. So, ayun po, bago magtapos, thank you po sa pakikinig sa isang oras na may power interruptions. Pero yan nga lang, sabi nga, yung principle of Semulundong, self-help, cooperation, no, and diligence. So, thank you po.
Alright, thank you very much po, AA Nico, for that discussion. So with your words po, talagang it's truly inspiring how such global perspective or movement helps us to strengthen and empower yung ating mga local agricultural practices dito sa atin. With that, let's give a sounding applause to AA
Thank you.
Nico. And with that, I guess the floor is now open for questions po.
Yun, dami.
Marami. Siguro po you may approach the microphone na lang.
Hello po.
Ay, sir, okay lang na, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hello po, anyong haseyo.
Anyong Ashimnika.
Napakaganda po yung inyong presentation. At saka napakaganda po yung mga principles na pinakita nyo sa amin sa Korea, no? Sa Simol Ondong. At this only boils down to only one thing, which is discipline. Disiplina po, may discipline sila. Una sa lahat, self-help. Kaya ba natin yan? Ating reality check lang naman, dito sa Pilipinas ay umaasa palagi sa subsidy. Ano pong may bibigay ng gobyerno, yun talagang inaasahan nila. So napakahirap po na kumbisihin ang Filipino farmer na self-help, no? Pangalawa, diligence. May mga programa na ng gobyerno nakakatamad sa mga farmers like 4Ps. Paano? Tumatanggap na lang sila. Kaya, ayaw na sila magtrabaho. Saan po papasok yung diligence dyan?
Opo, yes.
At cooperation. Merong, in fairness naman, sorry sa mga taga-Bohol, doon sa amin meron ko sinasabing ija-ija, aho-aho. Ibig sabihin, sorry mga taga-Bohol, pero yun ang naging expression doon sa Mindanao, ija-ija, aho-aho. Ibig sabihin, akin-akin, kayo, sa inyo din. Paano maging, so, merong conflict sa culture, kasi tayo, island groups tayo. Napakaraming isla, napakaraming salita, wala tayong threats gaya ng Korea. Ang Korea, 2 threats yan, kaya may 2 major threats sila. Isa, security. Dapat mabuhay sila. Pangalawa, yung climate. Kaya nga, tropical fruits ang ine-export natin doon. Dahil yan ang wala doon. Di ba? May threat sila kaya, may winter sila. Kaya masipag sila, diligent sila. Dapat mag-save sila para sa pagkain nila. At saka, marami namang pumunta sa Korea. Mga farmers na siguro, ilan dito. Dami siguro nakapunta doon sa Korea. At doon, nung nagpadala tayo ng farmers doon, sabi, hindi namin kaya to. Bakit? Hindi ka pwedeng kumain ng 1 meal kung hindi ka magtatrabaho ng 4 na oras. Ewan ko, totoo ba yun sa mga nakapuntang training doon? Kaya, bago ka makakain, magtatrabaho ka ng 4 na oras. Hindi pwede sa Pilipinas yan. Palagi tayong kumakain, may snack. Tapos dumating ng linggo. Linggo, siyempre, walang trabaho. Pero hindi sila makakakain kung hindi sila magtatrabaho ng 4 na oras per meal. Kaya po ba natin yan? Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. From Mindanao, sir, no?
Yes po.
Opo, thank you very much.
Zamboanga Peninsula.
Zamboanga. So, doon makikita, no, mahalaga yung contextualization. Madami tayong mapipick up na magandang aral, principle, sabi nga ni sir. Sir, anong name niyo po ulit, sir?
Bert Banikid po,
Sir
Vice
Bert.
Chair ng Region 9.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Sir Bert. So, may kita natin principles, no? Oo, tama. Pero dapat i-contextualize mo ano ang mag-fit, no, sa Philippine setting. Sir, maganda yung nabanggit nyo na island country tayo, island state, no? Talagang puta-putaki, magkakahiwa-hiwalay. And sabi nga, kung anong akin, no? Akin. Yung iyo, sa'yo yan. That's why, ito yung nga yung kaya nga kinontextualize, kaya may presentation na Simulundong dito sa F2C2. Yan. Yan yung F2C2. That's why, sabi nga, nabanggit ni Director Bong kahapon, na dapat ang guidelines mo, hindi pare-parehas. Depende yan sa, isang guidelines, pero yung implementation, depende yan sa context ng lugar mo. Hindi pwedeng one size fits all. No? Kasi nga dapat i-contextualize natin. But the principle of self-help, diligence, and cooperation, it's the same sa lahat. No? Sabi nga, nasa tao yan. How can you motivate them to become diligent? How can you motivate them to help themselves? How will you motivate them to cooperate? So yan ay sama-sama po natin po problemahin yan at pag-uusapan until we come to a solution on how we can say na, na-motivate ko siya maging diligent. Through subsidy ba? Through, ano pang pwede? Through incentives ba? Through personal connection? Kailangan ba magkaroon tayo ng trust sa isa't isa? Yung mga ganon. So, kanya-kanyang strategy and pagtutulungan po natin yan through this F2C2. So yun po yung ating nakikita po dyan. Sige. Sir.
Sige, good morning po, sir. I am from Region 7, Vice Chair, Joselito Albios. Ang tanong lang ko po, sir, magaganda yung presentation as per observation ko yung sa Korea. Pero ang tanong lang ito po, yung structure ng Simaol, basically, within our system and clustering about the F2C2 now, iba yung type of governments and governance of Korea at saka dito sa Philippines. Ang tanong ito, ang sabi mo kanina, yung mga group of farmers doon, sila ang mag-suggest sa government. Pero dito sa Philippines, iba. Yung gobyerno sa atin, palagi na lang sa mga magsasaka nagtatanong ano ang dapat natin gawin. As per observation, applicable ba basically yung structure ng Simaol dito sa ating bansa? Salamat po.
Thank you very much, sir. When it comes to structure, kung titignan natin yung Simolundong noong 1970s to 80s, hindi applicable ang structure noon sa Pilipinas. Kasi doon, ang structure noon, noong 1970s to 80s, no? So, dito, ang structure noon, alas 4 gising, lahat. Tapos sabay-sabay mag-exercise yan. Kakanta, kasama yung mga bata. By alas 6, dapat yung mga bata papunta na sa school na ginawa ng village. No? Tapos yung mga pamilya dyan, mga magkakasama, mga na under ng village, para silang parang kung sa sa Israel yung kibbutz system, pero under the religion yun under sa religious. Ito sir, community. Kung yung structure na sinasabi sir, hindi siya applicable. No? Yun. But what I can say, ang applicable dito is hindi ang kanilang goal kasi nun is survival. No? Kasi lugmok na sila eh. Nasa mas mababa pa sila sa lupa. No, gusto nilang umangat so parang nothing to lose. Sige, everything to gain. I-collect natin 'yan. Yan. Sarili natin. Sa atin sir kasi may mga options pa tayo eh. No? May options tayo. Sa kanila, they are almost tama sir, yung political system doon authoritarian almost. Sa atin democratic kaya mahalaga yan eh. Kung gusto natin we get the government we deserve sa mga binoto natin. Kung bumoto tayo. No, kung anong deserve natin na gobyerno. Yun ang binoto natin eh. Kung gusto natin makita ng progress, gusto natin makita ng progress, hindi magkaroon tayo ng civic participation, hindi lang sa pagboto, kundi paano natin maaasikaso yung mga sarili-sarili natin lugar. But the F2C2, the program, as I understand it, pardon me, Director Bong, mas ang applicable na metric sa atin, kasi ang gusto lang natin tignan, hindi yung social development per se, kundi mapataas ang ani at mapataas ang kita. No? Madali ma-identify kung successful ba ang pag-oorganisa natin kasi may metrics tayo. Sige, pwede naman na mas maganda sana, no? Mas ideal, sir, kung ang cooperatives natin, ang associations natin, ay nagbuklod-buklod dahil meron tayong common understanding, common respect, and common goal na gusto natin ma-achieve. But there are associations and cooperatives na nagbuklod-buklod kasi may goal to kumita. Sabi, business partners tayo, hindi tayo magkakaibigan, hindi tayo business to. So there are associations like that. But it's not wrong. No, as long as makuha nila ang goal nila na kumita sila, hindi masama yun. Basta lahat sila kumita. Pero mas mabigat ang organization na nagbuklod-buklod, no? Dahil may common trust sila sa isa't isa. And tama kayo sir, ang structure ng Simulundong noon ay hindi applicable sa atin, but there are principles and there are systems that can be adapted, no? Not only ng inyong association o ng association, but the government on how they can handle and motivate no ang ating mga associations to improve and further develop themselves na hindi lang aasa sa, sabi nga ni Sir Bert, yung 4-piece, hindi lang aasa sa ayuda, kundi ang gagamitin, kasi madalas ginagamit, sorry sa mga sa Korea naman ako pupunta eh. Joke lang. Ginagamit madalas yung programa ng gobyerno sa pamumulitika. Di ba? Yan, ginagamit yun. Pero it's incumbent upon us. Alam na nga natin, pinupolitika tayo eh. No? Iboboto pa rin ba natin yung pinupolitika tayo? Hindi pa ba natin kakausapin yung kapwa natin, uy, brother, sister, baka naman. Okay na. Sige. May mahaba na daw eh. Sinasabi ko, baka na.
Sir, good morning. Representative ng 4A, Joseph Villegas. Gusto ko lang po mag-share kasi ako po ay isa sa naging seasonal worker sa Korea from Batangas Province. At ang lagi ko po sinasabi kahit sa Batangas Province, nawa yung mga natutunan namin during the stay sa Korea ay talagang may adapt at makita na yung ginagawa namin sa Korea ay posible naman talagang gawin dito sa Pilipinas. Sir, sabi ko nga po, napakahirap magtanim sa Korea dahil siya ay dumadating ang winter. Pero kahit winter, nakakapag-produce sila. Yung amin pong pinuntahan is the Gangwon-do province. Ako po nasa Chuncheon City. 2 times po akong bumalik doon at iba't ibang farms na pinuntahan ko. Sabi ko nga, ang hindi na lang naka-greenhouse ay palay. Sabi ko nga po, ang akin pong minamanage na area doon sa Chuncheon is 10 units ng greenhouse na 100 meters ang haba. Fully mechanized kasi kahit yung sorting ng kamatis, digitalized pagpatak doon sa sorting machine. At sabi ko nga po, simula na dumating ako sa Korea, kamatis hanggang sa matapos kamatis. Ibig ko sabihin, yun pong product noong province na yon is particularly sila yung nagsusupply sa Japan ng cherry tomato. Kaya nga po, doon ko nakikita na kung talagang each province mula sa atin, ano ba yung best na meron sa ating each province, then i-develop po natin yon at yun ang ima-market natin, hindi lang locally, maging internationally. Kaya ito yung F2C2, tingnan natin ano talaga yung pwede natin gawin. Each province o each region, ano yung best na meron natin kayang i-produce at ito yung pagtulong-tulungan natin. At yung approach kasi nila, sabi ko nga po, yung government nila, inabot ko yung election, banggit mo sa election. During the election period, hindi kagaya dito sa atin. 1 taon pa bago mag-election, grabe na. Pero doon po, during the campaign period, makakita lang ilang poster. Hindi yung kagaya dito na bahay-bahay, grabe yung gastos. Doon po, simple po yung election. Kaya po yung politika sa kanila talagang kakaiba. At ang masasabi ko po, bilang ako'y naroroon, ang farm mechanization sa kanila ay kakaiba. Sabi nga po, dito sa atin, ang mga kooperatiba, ang mga farm association, naghihiraman. Ang tagal bago makaikot. Pero sa kanila, kung ano yung kailangan ng farm worker, ng farm, ipinoprovide po, tinutulungan ng government, isinasubsidize. At yung at ang nakita ko po doon is, the government itself, sila po yung nagmamarket ng produce ng mga local farmers. At doon po sa kanilang mga local, yun po yung pinagmamalaki na nakita ko sa kanila. At ito po yung isa, yung working ethics. Sabi ko po, sa kanila po, wag po natin sabihin senior, kahit PWD, saksi po ako. Yun pong aking tinigilan is, meron siyang magulang na almost 100 years old. Naka-wheelchair po siya, pero nag-work po siya sa farm. At the same time, yung pong mga anak nila, kahit magaganda at gwapo, pagdating ng walang pasok, kasama po nila yung sa farm. Sa atin, kakaiba. Pag sinasabi sa atin, kapag umasenso na, anak, huwag kang pupunta sa farm, huwag kang ganito, sayang yung kutis mo. Sa kanila, hindi po. Doon ko po nakita yung working ethics. Kami po nagwo-work hanggat may araw. Ang mga Koreano, hanggat may araw, nagtatrabaho. Pero tayo dito, pagdating ng alas 5, auwian na. Sila po, hanggat may araw, hanggat may liwanag ang araw, nagtatrabaho po sila. Mga babae, mga lalaki, mga senior, mga PWD. Kaya sabi ko po, kamangha-mangha yung kultura na meron ang mga Koreano. Sana mahawahan tayo. Yun lamang po, sir, at magandang umaga.
Thank you, sir. Isang patotoo na, although ako, sir, naniniwala pa rin supremacy ng Philippine culture, no? Kasi kung titingnan niyo, sir, no, sa sistema ng Korea na nandun kayo, for sure kayo ang best doon. Kasi kapag ang Pilipino nilagay mo sa ganoong sistema, mas nagtathrive ang Pinoy. Kasi tayo, we know how to value not only work, but we enjoy. Kasi the other side naman, sir, ng ano na yan, ng progress nila, nagtatrabaho sila, may araw, may ano. Pero they are pressured, no, on doing that. Pero tayo mga Pilipino, o sige, overtime, basta may pera, basta may ano, tapos magkakantahan pa yan. After niya, magbabasketball pa. So, kaya I still believe sa culture ng Philippines, no? Pero, i-adapt natin sa yung magaganda na ginawa ng Koreans. Tama kayo eh. It starts with governance. Sabi nga, ang agriculture, hindi lang usapin ng, kaya nga may culture eh. Sa agriculture, there's always a cultural dynamics, no? When it comes to agriculture. Kaya thank you very much, sir. Maganda yung patotoo mo. Thank you.
Hello po. Last question na po ata. Andito po ako sa dulo. Ayan.
Dito po muna si Sir.
Okay. Sige po.
Sino po?
Si Asik, sige, si Asik Philip yata may sasabihin. Si Asik Philip.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat.
Anyway,
Ako po
good morning po. I cannot help, no, but to share this, no. Bukod doon sa, I don't know, this is part of the values or virtue na nabanggit ng ating attaché, si Nico, yung self-respect, no. I just want to share this, no, in a short, meron ako isang naging kaibigan na Korean, no. At very successful ang family niya. The wife is a doctor. He has 2 sons, all in New York, working with big financing institution. No? Sa totoo lang, okay na siya. Pero gusto niyang manirahan dito, so nagnegosyo siya. And very successful. No? Palagi niya sinasabi sa akin, you know, Mr. Yang, Philippines is so lucky. And how poor we were. Talagang practically hindi sila nakakakain. Yung pinakita kanina na picture. Until one day, hindi dahil sa hindi naging successful siya, nagkaroon siya ng isang partner na I will say a well-known political family. Okay. To make a long story short, nawala sa kanya yung negosyo. And for him, that's a big failure in his life. Okay? So every year, magpapadala ako ng Christmas gift, dadalhin ng driver ko. Siya naman, every year, pag apple season na may masarap na apple sa Korea, papadalhan niya ako. So sabi ko, oy, season na naman ng apple. Every year, nag-exchange gift kami. Until one day, pinapunta ko yung driver ko, padala mo to. At tumawag siya, sabi sa akin. Pero tinatawagan ko siya for so many months. Sabi ko, baka nasa Korea. Hindi na nagkoconnect yung phone niya, pati sa bahay niya. And then, sabi nung driver ko, sir, wala na siya. Sabi ko, bakit? Umuwi na ng Korea. Hindi o, tumalon doon sa condominium niya. Okay. Sabi niya, yun yung narinig ko pala, yung sa radyo, may tumalon isang Koreano. Because of that failure, he considered that as a failure. No? Talagang sa kanila, they have that pride of success and self-respect. No? Yun yung spirit, no, that makes also the Japanese move, why they move so fast. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much po, Asik Philip.
And thank you, Asek. My question po si Sir Edwin.
Hello po, may magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ako po si Edwin Dapar, taga Mabini Placer, Surigao del Norte, province, Region 13. Ang ano ko lang po, concern, si government nagbibigay ng mga project doon sa mga province, mga livestock, crops, lahat. Nagbibigay sila ng project doon sa mga co-op or organisasyon. Ngayon po, pag binigay nila nga doon sa co-op or organisasyon ng halimbawa livestock, o si farmers ngayon doon nag-alaga ng mga livestock. Pagka tapos supplyan ni government ng mga feeds, ang mag-aalaga lang doon si co-op. Ang punto ko lang po doon, pag panahon na ma-harvest na yung livestock or mga crops, walang magbibili ng mga product na ang gusto ko kasi po, yung product ng mga farmers, dapat bilhin ng government para pag isang harvest lang doon ng isang product, kasi pag binta ng halimbawa 10 heads na baboy o 15, 20, pag mabinta yun ng isa-isa lang, wala ring mangyari. Dapat yun bulto pagbili or pagbinta. Ang nangyayari doon kasi doon sa amin, sa province namin, pag may livestock ka na, pwede mo nang ibinta, ang nagbili yung mga dicer, yung dicer walang kahirap-hirap, sila yung nakapira sa Tagalog noon. Sila yung nakapira sa ng mga farmers sacrifice. Yung si farmers laging kawawa. Ang punto ko lang po, pag yung mga production ng farmers ibilhin ng government para si government na yung doon para si farmers hindi mahirapan pagbenta sa kanilang mga product. Tapos po yung timbangan doon sa baboy livestock, bilhin pa ng mga dicer, yung mga mumprahay, bilhin pa nila. Ang timbangan hindi kanang yung limbungan ba? O nangdadaya yung timbangan. Yun ang mahirap doon. Si farmers, kawawa si farmers palagi. Samantala si farmers yung naghihirap. Yun lang po yung paabot ko po. Salamat po.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much po sa inyong katanungan. No, to contextualize, sir, 'di ba, sa presentation natin, I'm speaking as an agriculture attaché, hindi as ng gobyerno, emisaryo ng gobyerno na para yung problema. But I like, sir, yung inyong discussion kasi doon tayo magbo-boil down doon sa system, no? System. Tama kayo, sir. Sabi nyo nga, sana mabili ng mga farmers, sana mabili ng government, no? Yung gusto na, yung mga benta ng farmers. But, alam nyo, very ideal yun eh. Ideal siya. Di ba, na-discuss kahapon yung sa Gipsaka. So, isang option na yon. Pero yung other side of the, parang kabilang banda, na sabi nga natin, nasa governance pa rin eh. Alam niyo ba na may bata, di ba may agency, yung Philippine Competition Commission, no? May batas tayo yung sa competition law, na ang gobyerno ay hindi pwede makipag-compete sa private. No? Hindi pwede makipag-compete sa private. So, kunwari, binili ng gobyerno, no? Pwede siyang kasuhan ng private. Sabi, bakit? Porket mas may kayo, subsidized kayo, pwede niyong bilhin yan para sa amin. But merong mga batas, katulad sa Gipsaka, basta may masatisfy tayo na requirements. So aside from automatic na bilihin ng gobyerno, kasi yung ganyan, hindi lang naman sa DA yan eh. May local governments tayo, no, sir? What if, ang gawin na, no, sa part ng program, pag nagbibigay ng suporta, alamin muna yung market. Dapat meron siyang market. Part ng project concept na pag-develop ng pagbibigay ng mga livestock, pagbibigay ng crops, is dapat identified yung market. May kapartner na market. So, package na siya. So siguro yun ang pwede. Pwede natin is-suggest lagi yun. Kapag kunwari, tayo ang beneficiaryo, pwede natin sabihin, sir, baka pwede nyo maisama na yung market dyan. Baka, kasi may target po kayo eh. Baka kasi ang target nyo kapag nakapag-release kayo ng crops, okay, accomplishment na yan. Nakapag-release ng livestock, okay, accomplishment na yan. Pero yung impact nun, hindi na isasama. So ito mahalaga, dahil participatory naman ang governance natin, no? Sabi natin, sir, baka pwede, o ma'am, baka pwede may direct market. Kasi in 3 months, alam naman natin, kunwari, 3 months, malaki na to, pwede nang ibenta. Baka in those 3 months, may makausap na tayo na mag-a-absorb ng produkto na, na ipapalakihin namin or gagawin namin. So, magandang ano yun, sir. Magandang input. And nandito naman yung mga DA regional offices natin na pwede po natin laging kasama sa plan, pwedeng isama sa plans natin or sa project concept yung ganung sistema na hindi lang tayo basta magbibigay no ng subsidy or inputs. Dapat alam natin kung paano nila maibebenta rin ng ating mga farmers. So, okay sir, yung ano. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, AA Nico. Last for our last question po.
Finally ho. Ayan. So, pwede na
Mag-usap
po
na
ba?
tayo, ma'am. Mag-usap na tayo, ma'am. Sige, sir. Go. Ay, ma'am, go.
Ay. Sige ho. So, I'm Stephanie Quiros po from Region 1. Contract of Service po under the AF2C2 din. My question po kasi by base sa PowerPoint presentation and all of the discussions sa puno na rinig natin ngayon, no? Like the government, and I am just going to mention the hidden in plain sight na nandun din po sa presentation ninyo. Since we are an F2C2 clustering and consolidation program, meron po nakalagay sa presentation nyo doon na proficiency in civil servants. Maybe that is also another key na hindi po natin nakikita. And we're already talking about the structure or the systems of the government. And we all know that DA has the funds. And meron din po tayong mga MLGUs, PLGUs na kasama dito. And we all know po na since may mga nabanggit ng mga politicizing and all, and alam natin kung gaano tayo ka-politically volatile, this is my question, sir. Do you recognize the gap between the DA and the PLGUs, MLGUs, and how do we address these gaps? Kasi even though we are always mentioning na the farmers are not being given, nakakate, hindi na pupunta lahat yung buong intervention sa kanila, aminin man natin o hindi. And I think that's the hidden in plain sight, another problem or another key, no? So, do you recognize this kind of gap or problem, and how are we already addressing it, or how are we going to address this, sir? Yun lang po.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am, sa iyong matapang na pag-comment. Sa first question, do I recognize? Yes. No? Nare-recognize ko yan. Actually, ma'am, nung nag-masters ako, yan ang aking thesis topic. Polycentric governance. Paano ang pag sinabing polycentric governance, no? May overlap lagi ng function ang national, regional at local. Yan. No? Yung gap na binabanggit niyo, ma'am, talagang lumabas yan sa study ko, ma'am. Ang aking tawag mo dyan, ang aking inaral is yung mga AMIA villages, no? Kung paano ang management ng national, regional at local sa mga AMIA villages. Yan. Kasi dati po ako sa Climate Change Office ng DA. Nakita natin dyan na number one na gap is mistrust. Yung the trust between the national, regional, and local governments. Ito, hindi ko sinasabi ito para mag-away-away tayo lahat o hindi. I-acknowledge natin bakit walang trust? Kasi dahil sa Local Government Code of 1991, di ba, dinevolve ang function ng extension ng DA binigay sa local governments. Hindi natin sinasabi na palpak yung batas, no? Nagkataon lang na iba ang mandato ng national government no, sa local government na meron din sarili siyang agenda. Yan, may sariling agenda. Pero sabi nga ng ating Pangulo ngayon, whole of nation approach, no? Ano yung pwedeng gawin? Katulad yan, parang normal, magkakaibigan tayo, wala tayong trust sa isa't isa kasi hindi tayo nagkakausap-usap. So anong number one na solusyon? Dapat may engagement lagi. The national government, the regional field offices, and the local government, dapat siguro sa bawat parte ng buhay nila, merong checking mechanism. Sabi nga, kayo nasa region, overwork. Konti ang staff, ang daming trabaho. No? Sabi, gusto ko po ng work joke lang. Hindi, kasi normal yan, nangyayari siya, pero hindi siya dapat. Normal siya, nangyayari. But sabi nga, limited ang trabaho, limited ang pondo ng gobyerno, malaki ang hinihingi sa kanya, no, na support. Kaya nga sabi nga dito, kaya madali sa Korea because the villages, the people, self-governs. Sila na mismo nag-gobyerno sa sarili nila. So until such time, may sabi nga ni Sir Bert kanina, nagkakaproblema tayo dahil nasasanay sa ayuda system. So alam niyo yun, patong-patong na problema yan, ma'am. Hindi lang siya sa organization, hindi lang siya sa management, hindi lang siya sa structure. But what we can do is, number one, build trust. No? Kung anong mali, di ba kapag kaibigan mo, kapag trusted mo, kahit mali, sasabihan mo siya. Mag-uusap kayo. So yan, communication, ma'am, number one. Communication is key, hindi lang yan sa mag-asawa, hindi lang yan sa mag-boyfriend, girlfriend. Sa organization, communication, mahalaga. Bad or good feedback, mahalaga yan. Number two, ma'am, is overlap ng support. Hindi dapat mag-turf. Kunwari, programa ko yan. Sa akin yan. Ba't nakikialam ka? Overlap yan eh. Kasi may times na kahit ginagawa mo siya, mayroon ka ibang angulo on how you do those things. Iba yung perspective ng national, iba perspective ng region, iba perspective ng LGU. So maganda yung overlapping para kung ano yung hindi mak-capture ng national, masasalo ng region at masasalo ng LGU. No? Pangatlo is leadership. So we have, sabi mo nga, proficiency in civil service, no? Civil servants proficiency. Number one yun. Pero naniniwala naman, may system tayo, di ba? May civil service, sa job order, sa cost, di ba? Ang pipili niyan, yung mga boss natin, kung sinong pinili. So maraming nag-apply, may pinili. Ibig sabihin, based sa analysis and sa mandate ng a-accept na agency, ikaw yung nakuha. So for them, ikaw yung proficient. Kaya it's both a privilege and a curse. Kasi privilege, ikaw napili among all those people, magtrabaho ka. Hindi ka korporasyon, pera ng gobyerno yan eh. Pagtrabahuhan mo, dapat ibigay mo sa tao. Yun yung ano. Pero siyempre, it's easier said than done, di ba? Masyadong ideal. Pero wag natin tatanggalin ang idealism. Kasi ako, naniniwala pa rin ako na ganun siya. Paulit-ulit natin banggitin yan kasi cultural yan eh. Mindset yan eh. Kung tayo ay magsasettle na lang, wala tayong palakasan yan, wala tayong magagawa. Di palakasan na lang talaga mananaig. Pero kapag paulit-ulit natin sasabihin, dapat proficient, dapat maganda ang pagsiservisyo publiko ng bawat isa, lalo na sa gobyerno, yan ang magiging tema ng usapan lagi. Huwag tayo mawawalan ng pag-asa na mangyayari yan. Hanggat may ideals, hanggat may principles, panghawakan lang natin. Yan. So yun, pasensya na sa kayo sa para akong nagpipreach eh. Pasensya. Pero yun ma'am, communication, trust, ano pa?
Leadership.
Leadership. Yan. So thank you.
Thank you so much, AA Nico. Alan, if you have questions related to AA Nico's topic, you may approach him naman. Diba, AA Nico, nandito ka lang naman po maghapon.
Nandito sa Korea.
Opo, kasi meron pa tayong ibang speaker. Buti na lang, AA Nico, maaga tayo nagsimula kasi napakagandang discussion.
And yes, Pia, speaking of those questions, as per ASIC po, sa mga succeeding speakers natin, maybe maaari nating ipaabot ang ating mga question during lunchtime po para naman hindi tayo mag-overtime. And of course, we recognize lahat po ng inyong katanungan at inyong mga concerns. And rest assured na mamaya po during lunchtime sa mga susunod na speakers ay hopefully masagot natin. Once again, maraming salamat po sa ating speaker, AA Nico, at sa lahat ng nagtanong at nang share ng kanilang mga concerns. With that, may we present to you the Certificate of Appreciation. May we have our VIPs to guide us with the awarding. Citation reads, Certificate of Appreciation is given to Mr. Lev Nico M. Makalintal for sharing his time, knowledge, and expertise during the conduct of 3rd National Cluster Summit with the theme, Nagkakaisang Lakas sa Agrikultura, Tagumpay ng Magsasaka at Mangingisda, conducted on July 28 to August 1, 2025 at Naga City, Bicol Region. Given this 29th day of August 2025 in Naga City, Bicol Region, signed Engineer Ricardo M. Oñate Jr., the National Program Director of F2C2. Again, a round of applause to Mr. Lev Nico M. Makalintal.
Ayan po, sa muli, maraming salamat, AA Nico. And from global strategies, we now fly straight into innovation. Our next topic dives into how drone technology is revolutionizing fertilizer application.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from New Hope Agri Corporation, Mr. Anthony Tan.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. Nice to see a lot of familiar faces, yes, from the different regions. Director Bong, thank you for having me again. Engineer Tin, thank you for having me. So, my name is Anthony Tan, and I'm here to talk about drone technology and how it's leading to a brighter future. But this is actually my third presentation to F2C2, right? And I think that for those who have seen my presentation before, this time around we have a lot more concrete examples of what we're actually doing. So, and it might just be in your part of the region. So, let's start. Okay, we just skipped through the introduction, but just to let you know a little about me, I'm from corporate. I spent 26 years in finance, specializing in information, and I founded New Hope Precision Agriculture in 2017 in Davao. I met when Director Bong was still Regional Executive Director. And what I did when I started in agriculture is I learned it from scratch, meaning I got my FPA ARCO, CPA, and I am now a licensed drone pilot. So from corporate to having my own business. So that's me. But the one thing that you should also know here is that in my 26 years in finance, I spent 16 years in Japan. So I had a very different perspective when I was living there. Next. Okay, so New Hope is fully licensed, so these are the credentials you need to be able to service customers. But hindi pong batas natin, a lot of requirements, so these are the requirements you need, FPA, CAAP, and CAD. Next. Okay, so as leaders, it is a privilege to be here in the fellowship of other leaders. And we're here to gain perspective. And this is what I'm here to do, to give you perspective on how drones have touched communities through different programs. Okay, but to do that, but to kick it off, I want to take you first to Japan, right? In this little obscure place called Totoriken, out the middle of nowhere. It's cold, right? Okay. I'm not quite sure if you are familiar with rice farming in Japan. They're not really into direct seeding. They're into transplanting. In fact, they invented the transplanter, you know, Kubota, Yanmar, and everything, right? But this youth is taking them to direct seeding using new technologies, drone direct seeding. And dare I suggest that maybe the Philippines was actually the first to do drone direct seeding through Phil Rice in Erie, okay? Because we're actually ahead of that. Anyway, what I want you the point that I want to get across here is that the future is now. If we go to the next slide, okay, in Catanduanes, Bicol region, do you recognize the drone? It's the same unit, right? It's the same unit. Okay, next slide. So what we have done in the Bicol region and other regions is we have been talking to farmers, planning, consulting, building consensus so that we can do drone applications. I'll talk about the different applications. This happens to be seeding. So when I say the future is now, what I'm saying is that this is world-class transformation right here. If this drone did the same application in Japan, it would do it exactly the same way. It can't do it any different. Okay, so if you tell the drone, I have 40 hectares done in how many minutes? I can't see. About 3 hours or something? Yes. How many hours? 2 hours? Yes. So 40 hectares done in about 2 hours, right? Think about that. That's how Japan farming is being done right now in terms of spray. There's no labor. The agricultural population of Japan is just 1% of population, right? And they're aging. So if you think labor is tight in the Philippines, this is a good solution, as you can see. And we're actually doing it now. This is actually in Leyte, right? Region 8, Mount Rafael. Okay. Next. Okay. So it gets better. So the government, through the Masagana 200 program, has a drone voucher program. I think some of you may know. Okay, so this is the GAA in 2024. So if you look at the first one, it says, government, through the FPA, will develop protocols for applications of pesticides. What it's saying is that the government's doing research for you. Because we know that farmers will have discourse around, is it safe? Is it more effective? Is it not effective? Well, guess what? The government is already paying for the research which is being conducted right now in Erie under the Drones for Rice program. So next year, we should get some data. The second thing is that the government is scaling drone technologies through the voucher program. I think there's about 225,000 hectares targeted. This for this fiscal year. So next year is another budget. Okay. So what we're doing is we're democratizing the same drone technology that's in Japan. Get it? It's the same equipment. So we're democratizing it to RSBSA farmers. That's what's good about this. Okay. It's essentially a free trial to you. So you can begin to understand how you can intertwine it within the fabric of your communities. Okay. Oh, let's look at what we've done in Bicol. So this was just 2 weeks ago, I think, in Bicol. Okay, so these are some of the available services, which is basic in the agricultural drone. Okay, so first is spray application. Next. Okay, so you can do about 10 hectares an hour. Okay, by the way, this is not the latest model. The latest model can do that much faster. So it gets better and better every year. But this is actual. Next. Seed broadcasting. So this is, we do it for around 2,000 pesos per hectare. So this is really good with hybrid seeds, because with hybrid seeds we can really hit the 15 to 20 kilo per hectare, which is just right. Okay. Next. Okay, so other key innovations. So the drone that we currently have is about 40 liters. Next. Okay, the latest drone spray technology uses dual centrifugal sprinklers, right? So basically it atomizes the chemicals. So it's not a pressure nozzle. It atomizes it. So which means we can control the droplet through the remote control. So if the label says it's 150 microns, I can adjust through the remote control. So that contributes towards better efficacy. Next. Next. Okay. All right, so less dripping. Next. Okay, so the pump is really separated from the mechanics, so it's a magnetic pump, so which means less clogs. Okay, next. Oh, okay, next. Radar is getting better, so one of the risks for drones is our crashes. It happens, and the drone is worth about, let's say, 1 million pesos. So each year gets better and better. So the radar now, the radar next year is going to be LiDAR based, so which is very, very good. And this one has a 50-meter detection range. Next. Okay, has a camera. Next. Okay, so this is the big takeaway on spray. Okay. Drone spraying is the only technology that achieves total separation between applicator and harmful chemicals. So we have been on tour with the FPA, and as the FPA would say, ang gamot ay hindi gamot, ang gamot ay lason, right? And this is the only technology that achieves total separation, which is why Erie, in 2017, my first client, that's the only reason why they bought the drone, because it achieves total separation, okay? Next. Okay, so I think that as leaders, being in the company with other leaders, you can get perspective here on how you can map the future based on existing tools and how it's being used. And so this picture is it says a lot. You see, this kid came to our booth, was really, really happy to be with the drone. That enthusiasm, you know. And I think that for us boys here, first time you see a toy you really like, it really resonates. And I think this picture really encapsulates the spirit of the youth and how you can entice them to stay in agriculture, because that's really a big problem for us right now. And so with one pilot, I've shown you how I can spray 40 hectares, and that's not even one full day, right? So the future is bright because of technologies, and technology now, right, is we're on par with Japan, Korea, and China, because we use the same technology. right? So that's the good news. Okay, I guess that's it. No more Q&A, right? Next.
Ay, meron pa po. Ayan,
Okay.
ang inutukoy po, thank you, Sir Anthony, no, for that presentation. Sabi nga ni Sir Anthony, there is new hope in agriculture. Bali po yung sabi ni Miss Emmy kanina, yung mga, we will limit the questions during the Q&A for 3 questions, 3 to 4 questions. And if may additional questions po, please feel free to approach our resource speakers. And if wala po sila dito sa area, you can inform any member of the Secretariat and kami na lang po magre-relay para po ma-control natin yung time. Kasi kahapon parang happy naman kayo na we finish on time. So let's try to finish on time today. Ayan, so now, Sir Anthony, is it okay if we proceed with the Q&A? Do you have any questions? Ayan, Sir Rapsi, yes. Please introduce yourself to Sir Anthony.
Bert Panigan again of RAPSI 9. During one of our meetings, the National Sectoral Committee on Rice, there was a problem on the utilization of the funds that were allocated for drone technology. Because
What is the what? I'm sorry, the...
Meron po yung mga pondo na-allocate for drone technology na hindi po nagagamit. Dahil na hindi po ata ready yung ating mga F-cluster areas. May mga konting problema. Like, I'm from Region 9.
Yes.
At meron pondo kami doon at wala pa talagang nangyari. Although nakaprogram sana yung drone technology doon, hindi pa po nakakalipad yung mga drones natin doon dahil na may konting problema sa area natin. Because
Yeah.
what we know is that, as what you have explained in Davao and in Iloilo, kailangan ng 40 hectares. Hindi po ba? Yung 30 hectares.
No, 20. 20.
Yeah, 40 hectares para maging mas efficient po yung utilization. So ang tanong ko po, lalo-lalo sa ating si Asik Philip, no, at saka sa ating mga kasamahan na galing sa Department of Agriculture, na kung ano po nangyari doon sa pondo na yon, because hindi po nagagamit yung pondo dahil na hindi pa po ready yung ating areas for drone
Sir,
technology.
we could probably get someone from DA to answer.
Yes, nga sa DA po. At yung pangalawa po, meron atang na-train din. Andito si Captain Charlie Pasakyan ng Region 12. Train po siya. At ang sabi niya kahapon, wala pa siyang drone na ibinigay ng DA. Trained na po siya, licensed na ng CAAP, pero wala namang drone na ibigay sa kanya. Bukas, Charlie.
Okay, maybe we should channel that to your RFO.
Ay, sige. Yes, ma'am. Opo, parang next question na daw po.
Hello, good morning. From
Morning.
Agrico of PH. So, sir, you emphasized the use of the drone, agricultural drone, survey, seeding through broadcasting, fertilizer application through spray. Is a good approach, no, embracing technology. But what comes in my mind is how the government regulate in spraying the chemical base, that we take good care of our water table on the ground. That would be the disadvantage, no? And another one,
Can you repeat? I didn't understand the latter part of the question.
the drone per se is good in terms of survey, seeding, fertilizer application, in spraying. But in spraying, is there a possibility for the government to regulate, especially the application of chemical-based kind of spraying that would damage our water table?
Yes, actually, ma'am, in fact, if you look at our credentials, we are a licensed drone spraying operator. And one of the things that limits my services is I can only apply label-expanded chemicals. What that means is if you buy a chemical, let's say Bayer, right? You look in the back, it needs to have the drone instructions. If there are no instructions, I can't apply. Yes. So actually, relatively, throughout ASEAN, we're actually one of the strictest. Yes. Kaya nga medyo huli tayo. So if there's concern, I would be more concerned that we are too slow on that front, which is why FTA had to relax it a little bit. Yes.
Sige, follow-up question. Maybe in some region, as in the beginning, Sir Bong told us that the adaptation, no? Different folks with different strokes. So the disadvantage of a drone, small-scale landowners, unlike Japan, you show to us flat land, but maybe it happens in other region that it's slopey, hilly, and another thing is the wind conditions. So the pilot is very critical on that, no? And we are introducing the farmers the diversified, integrated kind of farming. So rice land is flat, let's say in Bicol, in Bukidnon, and among others, in Agusan. But in some area, there are coconut, there are bamboos, and etc. So that's the disadvantage.
Yes. So in the drone voucher program, they give us, let's say, 100 hectares to apply. But we don't apply 100 because what we need to do is we need to survey to see what's droneable, meaning we can safely pass. So sometimes we get 100 out of 100. Sometimes it's 80 out of 100 because it's not possible because there are power lines, things like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think technology is going to get better, but besides for certain things, it's probably best to go manual anyway, meaning like palay underneath trees
Yeah.
can't fly.
That's why.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah. But the good thing again is that the government's very concerned about safety, so it actually put funds with ERI to do the research. And so I think in the larger context, do you know that in China, they have about 180,000 of these drones? 180,000, yes. So we're really, really behind. But in other places, it's conventional. So I think that as farmers, farmer leaders, and government officials over here, the question is not whether you should try it or not. The question is, how are you going to integrate it within the community? And that's why even though the drone voucher program has a minimum of 100 hectares, New Hope is doing it at 20 hectares.
Yeah.
It's okay because, it takes time for people to start, and so hopefully more people join the co-op and build confidence and things like that. So I think that's really how we can build. And one more thing, did you know that in Japan, the average land holding is less than 1 hectare? Yes, and they yield about almost 6.8, yes, metric tons. So there are sort of similarities, but of course they're very big in group thinking, so I think that's a big difference.
Sige, last question. We are promoting a regenerative agriculture.
Yeah.
And then, is there an effect if we put a biosolution? It may not affect to the fungi and etc.
So one of the biggest applications we have done in a lot of regions actually is biofertilizers. Yes, and so what we do is we use what we call a green drone, right? It's only organics in that drone, so it's not contaminated with anything. And so I think that's actually a frontier that not a lot of people are, paying attention, because people think drone spray, chemicals, but it doesn't have to be chemicals, right? So the government through the biofertilizer program, I think that's gone very, very well. Yes.
Thank you, Sir Anthony, for answering that questions.
Yes, and thank you very much po for that innovation. I guess wala naman ang tanong.
Yes.
Yes, so indeed we can see the advantage, especially on how it helps our farmers save the labor cost through those drones. So sana po, hopefully ay we'll able to integrate it sa ating mga community, sabi nga ni Sir. So now, let's present the Certificate of Appreciation given to Mr. Anthony Tan. We request Engineer Bong to assist us with the awarding. Maraming salamat po muli, Mr. Anthony Tan. Now from machines to mindsets, our next speaker represents Agri-Co-op and will share stories of agripreneurial success.
Yes, Miss Emmy, let's hear how big dreams are transformed into thriving ventures that uplift entire communities. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Agri-Co-op PH, Mr. Jose Romero Ebron.
Maraming salamat po no, sa magagandang mga MCs natin. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. No? Good morning po. Good morning. Maayong buntag sa mga Bisaya. No? Maray ana aga sa taga Bicol. Alam niyo po, kahapon pala yung taga Bicol, gano'n, no? Yung mga si Director Bong. Ngayon ko lang nalaman, sir, na... Kasi alam niyo po, sir, yung nanay ko taga Bicol din. Opo, kaya lang pumunta ng Mindanao 1977, hindi na bumalik. Ano? Taga Pulangi po yung nanay ko. Sige po, magandang umaga po ulit no, sa ating lahat. Ako po si Jojo Ebron, taga Cagayan de Oro po. Ako po yung Chief Executive Officer ng Philippine Family Farmers Agriculture Fishery Forestry Cooperatives Federation. Ang haba po ng pangalan, no? But in short, Agri-Co PH po. I have, kung nakikita nyo, medyo bata-bata pa, no? But I just celebrated my 50th birthday last April, no? So kalahati na, sir. No? Kalahati na, 50 years, no? But I'm with the cooperative movement for the last 30 years, no? And farmer din po ako, no? I have dairy farm in Bukidnon. I have cassava. I have also palay, no? And I would like to invite you, no? Lahat ng mga co-ops, hopefully, no? Soon, sa main office namin sa Cebu. Sige po, for my presentation, talagang napakasaya, no? Dahil marami po ang nandito ngayon, hindi lang mga cooperative leaders, even yung mga RAPSI, no? Mga chairperson at vice chairperson, at also mga partners, no? Local government units, no? Mga provincial cooperative officers, at even yung mga private sector, no, na nandito ngayon, no. So I'm very proud and honored to be part of this F2C2 Cluster Summit, no. At first time ko nakapagdalo, pang third na pala ito, no. And hopefully in the near future, Sir Bong, baka kasama kami, pwedeng i-organize, no. I-organize, no, na private sector yung summit, no. Maganda po yung ganon, no, yung collaboration. We recognize, of course, the role of government, no, particularly the Department of Agriculture, but also maganda din po yung collaborating with the private sector. Ay, laptop ko na lang. Sige po. Laptop ko na lang daw gamitin. Sa minti lang. Okay. Sige po. Ay, yung nasa ano po. Kasi bago po yung presentation, may kunting ano lang po muna tayo, no? Survey or poll, no? Ang mananalo po dito, I have 3 questions. Ang mananalo po, sagot ni Director Bong or sagot ni Asek Levy, no? Pupunta ng Japan o Korea, sir? No, ang makasagot po, no, sa quick na survey na ito, no. May papremyo nga po pupunta sa Cebu, sa Cebu, Korea or Japan, care of kay Director Bong. Okay po ba, sir? Tuwang-tuwa, no, kasi nabanggit po ng mga speakers natin, no, yung Korea, yung Japan, etc. No? In my 30 years of cooperative movement po, napuntahan ko na po itong lahat. No? I've been to Korea 4 times, to Japan, ano? I've been to Canada, to Europe. Tamang-tama po sinabi ni Sir, no? Magkaiba yung pong context. Pero mayroon pong dalawa actually that makes the difference. Ang una po, yung cooperation among co-ops. At mahalaga po, kasi ito po yung tema natin, no? Nagkakaisang lakas sa agrikultura, tagumpay na magsasaka at mangingisda. Ilan po ang farmers, sir, ngayon? 6 million? 11 million? Ilan po dyan ang member ng co-ops? Ilan po ang member dyan ng organizations or associations? No? So, yung tanong po, binabalik po sa ating magsasaka. No? Are we willing to cooperate? No? Are we willing to unite? Marami pa rin pong hindi member ng co-op or association. Kanya-kanya pa rin po. No? So, ito, with my first question, no? Ay, makuha ba yung ano, ma'am? Yung, sige, you try daw. You try to scan the QR code. No? Sige, kaya bang maano? Natabunan ng ano eh. Natabunan. Ayan, sige. Oh. Ayan. So, quickly, no? Sige, sino po yung may mga cellphone? No? Scan the app at lalabas po yung question. Okay? So, ang maka-perfect, deal? Deal tayo? Punta ng Korea? Ha? Ang perfect, deal ha? May price. Uy, talaga naman, ready si ma'am. So, sige, go. Okay na? Sige. Okay, the question is, okay na? Sir, sa likod po, nakita niyo po dyan? Sa gilid, oh, just scan the app at lalabas po yung question. Sige po. The question is, sige ma'am, okay na? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sige po. Yung first question, sige po ma'am, about how many registered agricultural cooperatives right now? Okay? So, 2025 po, no? Pero ang data ko po, hindi 2025. Wala pang data latest yung CDA eh. Sorry, dito yung CDA, oh. Sige po. Okay, yan. Thousands, no? 1,000, 2,000. Sige po. Okay? 4,000, in 1,000 kasi yan, no? 1,000, uy, daming 1,000. Okay, go. Okay, what is the figure? Uy, mayroon pa. Ayan, 5,000. Wala na? Okay, sige po. Ma'am, can you click the response? No? Okay, how many registered agricultural cooperatives in the country right now? No? Okay, yung sino po yung naka-answer ng 5,000? Isa lang yata, no? Parang isa lang. Sige, pakiano daw po yung result, ma'am. Okay? We are almost 6,000 cooperatives right now. To be exact, 5,780. So, sino po yung nagsagot ng 5,000? Isa lang. Ano? Sino po? Okay, so, tingnan natin sa result. Sige, ma'am, go ahead. Next question. Okay, next question. Okay? How many secondary agricultural cooperative federations in the country? Okay? Scan the QR code and send your answer, your response. Yan, akyat na lang konti, ma'am. Ayun, kuha na agad. Okay? 100, 200, 300, 5, 10s. Secondary cooperative federations, no? Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sige, ayun, sumasagot na. Sige, ano natin, ma'am? Okay. By single digits yan, no? Okay, yan, pumapasok, no? Ayan. There are 37 secondary federations in the country. And again, balik tayo sa tema. Nagkakaisa ba tayo? Cooperatives? Organizations? Again, it's a question that need to be reflected, no? At the end of this, pang-ilan, no? Third Cluster Summit, no? And if you look at Korea, At if you look at Japan, there's only one national cooperative federation. That's the second, no? That relates to my first reflection. Yung cooperation, no? Actually, ang pang-third is on policy, but I will talk on that later. Okay, next, last question. Okay, tingnan natin. What region has the greatest number of agri-cooperatives? So, yun. Sige nga. What region? Nagbigay na ako ng option. Region 1, Region 7, Region 10. Go! Sino kaya? No? Dito yung mga RAPSI. Yan, exciting to. Paramihan to. Ano? Region 1, greatest number of agri-co-ops, no? 10, 11, 21, 23. Oh, may bias kayo, ha? Dahil taga Region 10, Cagayan de Oro yung resource person? Ha? Hindi naman. 24. Okay. Go. Yan, may pumapasok pa. Okay, wala na. Uy, maraming sumagot. Region 10 daw. No? Uy, humahabol ang 7. Okay? Sige po. Ang sagot po, no? Saan galing, no? Saang region ang pinakamarami? Ay, sorry ma'am, yung result po. Wala? Wala? Ang pinakamarami po is region 1. Okay? So, tingnan natin mamaya, no? One-third lang po yung North Mindanao, yung region 10. Okay? So, tingnan natin mamaya yung result. Okay? Sige ma'am, sa presentation ko. So, thank you for the quick survey, no? Bakit ginawa ko to, no? Just to refresh up, no? Our perspective na despite sa mga challenges, dami pa talaga natin gawin. No? Dami pa talagang gawin. No? Lalong na pag idugtong natin sa tema. No? Clustering tayo, di ba? So, we should go also beyond cluster, but also translate that clustering into a cohesive, functioning enterprise unit. No? Yun. So, ito po yung co-op sector at a glance. No? Yung data na to is 2021. No? Right now, in 2020, ngayon, almost 20,000, 18,848 cooperatives. Out of that, 5,758 are agriculture cooperatives. Pag sinabi nating agri-co-op sector, kasama na dyan yung dairy, livestock, no? Multipurpose, fisheries, no? There are 5,000, excluding pa to yung mga farmers organization, ha? So tingnan mo, ang dami nating organizations in the country. Ang dami talaga, no? Okay. But if you look at the data, in terms of membership, nasa mga 700,000 to 1 million tayo. But half of that, no? 1,820 to 1,321 are micro and small cooperatives with 1 to 100 members. So see? Maraming mga co-ops natin, almost half of the 5,700 have membership of less than 100. And again, we can cluster. Ano? So, dami talaga natin gawin, no? Not only from the government, but even tayo po mismo, no? The cooperatives, the farmers organization. Sige po. Ilan lang dyan? Ang large, 1,400. Over, large in terms of number, no? Over 200 membership. Next po. Ayan. So, the most type of agri-co-op, 46%, multipurpose co-op, 24 agriculture, 13 agrarian reform, no? Service, may producers, may agrarian reform, may dairy, mayroong marketing, no? So, yan po yung composition ng 5,700. So, ang dami po is almost 50% are multipurpose cooperatives. Mahalaga po yan, no? Mahalaga po yan. Dahil sa nakikita natin ngayon, a lot of successful cooperatives are into multipurpose. No? A lot of them are into multipurpose cooperatives. Pag sinabi natin pure producers cooperative, kunti lang. No? Even the biggest agriculture cooperative in the country right now, sino po yon? Soro-soro ibaba. Ano? Even the biggest cooperative in the country, ECDI Multipurpose Cooperative, composed of retired personnel from the Philippine Air Force, is multipurpose and engaging in agriculture. Ano? Sige po. So quick lang po ito in data. Next po. Ayan. Sorry, mali, not region 1, but rather region 3, no? Mali yung ano ko ano ko kanina, no? So Central Luzon actually is the top number of registered cooperatives, followed by region 7, no? Central Visayas and region 10. No? So yan po. Okay. Ito based po yan sa survey namin, no? Okay, next po. Okay, next po, ma'am. Ayan. If you look at the agriculture cooperatives, no? Yung number 1, wala yung pointer ko. Most agri-cooperatives operate within a small geographic scope. Marami pong mga agriculture cooperative natin nasa municipal level lang, no? Paano tayo makapag-export, sir? Yung agriculture cooperative kailangan ng banana from Korea, ilan lang yung naman ng saging, banana? Ilan lang yung nagtanim ng banana in a given municipality? So mayroon pong mismatch sa demand and how we organize, no, our business. No? Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 70% po ng agriculture cooperatives are municipal-based. Municipal-based, no? Hindi nga even the next municipality or the third municipality, no? Yan. At mayroon pang barangay level na agriculture cooperative. Sige po. Okay, next. Sige po, ma'am. Ay, yan. Yan, membership, micro to small. No? 62% ang nag-report ng agri-co-op size. No? Ayan. So, quick lang to na data. Sige po, ma'am. Yan. In terms of asset size, no? Micro to small. Sabi ko kanina, 50%, no? Are micro and small. Okay? Next po. Ayan. Ito po yung conclusion ng data, no? No? The more members, the wealthier the cooperative. No? You agree or you agree? Ha? O sino dito ang co-op, sir, na nandito ngayon na mayroong 10 member? Wala naman siguro. Sino dito ang mayroong 20? Wala. 50. O yun. 100. Yun. So, sir, mag-isip-isip na kayo. Mag-isip-isip na kayo. The more sustainable your co-op is, the wealthier you are. And if you see you are wealthier, you can provide a better service to your member farmers. The more members you should have. No? So mag-isip-isip, baka kailangan natin, andito ba si CDA? Di ba may program ngayon ng CDA on merger and consolidation? Bibigyan ng, magkano ba yun? 100,000 pag ilang co-ops ang mag-merge o mag-consolidate? Baka kailangan natin gawin yun, no? Ano? Baka kailangan natin pag-usapan yon. Sige po, next po. Okay, so generally, farmers cooperatives are weak, fragmented, and highly dispersed. Batihin nyo na ako po, pero yan po ang totoo. Yan po ang totoo. Farmers in the Philippines are weak, fragmented, and dispersed. 6 million members, ilan lang ang member ng organization ng co-ops? Then, if you look at Japan, 7 out of 10 are members in the GA Zenzo. You look at Korea, if you look at Europe, if you look at New Zealand, 9 out of 10 are members of dairy cooperatives. No? Kaya, that's why, farmers requires an appropriate governance and management, financial capacity, strong agribusiness acumen. No? That's why, yan po na-organize ang Agri-Co PH. No? In 2017, no? Yun po yung mga picture namin. If you notice, no? Nandyan po yung NATCO, nandyan po yung Pakisama, yung National Farmers Organization, nandyan po yung AFA, nandyan po si CDA EBE, no? Nandyan yung TRIAS, CSA, WFEC, ito yung mga international partners namin. No? Sige po. So yung presentation ko, i-share ko po yung dinaaran ng Agri-Co PH. No? Ano yung mga pioneering enterprising activities namin, no? That would support the growth of agriculture cooperatives. So ito po yung philosophy namin, an inclusive and resilient agri-fishery forestry cooperatives federation in the Philippines, influencing system change towards attaining a just and environmentally sustainable economic development. Hindi lang po agriculture. Meron po kaming fishery. O, dito, tuwa ako dito, no? May mga taga-fishery. Meron po tayong forestry, cooperatives, no? And our vision is we are an empowered, just, prosperous, resilient federation of family farmers. Our mission is we build the capacities of member agriculture cooperatives. And our goal is to work, our work will impact 3 million lives of family farmers by 2043. Okay, next. Ito po yung membership namin so far. No? Currently, as of July, we are 82. We have 19 in Luzon, we have in Visayas, and we have Mindanao. At natuwa pa ako, kasama, nakita ko po dito yung si Bunga MPC, member na po yan sila, no? Si Gobat St. Anthony, no? Nandyan si Barb ko sa Davao, no? Sino pa yung, nandyan si Marco in Mindoro, no? So hopefully, madagdag po kayo dito, no? After this, summit, no? Ayan, next po. Ayan, yan po yung membership namin, no? Ni Agrico PH. No? Si SEDC, iba pa, no? Even multipurpose cooperatives. Si Lamak, no? Sige po. Ito po in terms of commodities, no? Si Sir Bong kahapon may pinakita po na commodities. Ito po yung sa Agrico PH. Meron din kaming clustering by commodity. At maganda sana, in a region or in a province, mayroon ding clustering by commodity. No? Halimbawa, rice, meron kaming 20 co-ops, corn, 6, dairy, 10, coffee. Ayan. Cacao, banana, coconut, vegetables, wine, poultry, fishery. Hindi naman? Ha? Hindi naman siguro, no? Okay, good. Alam pa na mag-co-op. Sige po. Ayan po. So ito po yung profile ng member co-ops namin, no? Wala pa kaming actually merong abaka, no? Some of our co-ops are into abaka. Meron din kaming rubber. Okay? Next po. Bakit mahalaga po to, no? Na data. Kasi pag na-engage tayo ng market sa sinabi ni Sir, alam nila kung sino yung co-ops. And unfortunately, wala tayong database that captures all this data. Kahit si CDA po, isang pindot ng computer, pag sinabi natin ilan ang co-ops na nag-engage ng banana, ilan ang farmers na nag-engage, ilan hektarya, kailan i-harvest, magkano yung ilan ang volume, wala tayong data ngayon. At yan po yung service ni Agri-Co-op. Ipakita ko po mamaya. So ito po yung office namin. In Luzon, meron kami in Marikina. Salamat sa DA, upa po kami, no, sa NFA Marikina. We have in Visayas, our main office in Cebu City. And then we have in Mindanao, in Cagayan de Oro, a project office, and also soon, no, in Davao City. Actually, meron kami previously in Davao, but nilipat namin initially with Magsigi MPC, no? And later, mayroon po akong update on that. Sige po. So, yan po yung offices namin, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Next po. Ito po yung partners, no? The DJRB is German Cooperative Federation. Trias is an NGO based in Netherlands. CSA is based in Brussels. GIZ in Germany. Isiday Boca in the US. Unfortunately, sinarado na ni Trump yung USAID. No? Ano? Kunti na lang naiwan. Kaya actually, I worked with Isiday Boca before. No? Sinira po namin ang office in Davao. No? Naiwan na lang yung headquarters namin. No? 10% na lang sa staff namin with Isiday Boca ang naiwan. No? So we are a partner also of European Union, Agritera, then FCSI, IFAD, ICA. We are a member of International Cooperative Alliance, no? And then MEDA in Canada, then local po, no? ASIADRA, and then PBSP. Next po. Okay? So ito po yung pillars namin. Una is business capacity development. No? Mga kapatid, cooperators po, kailangan po natin mag-invest sa capacity development. Tama po yun, no? Mayroon po mga programa that somehow parang nagiging mendicant ang agriculture co-ops. No? Laging humihingi. But hindi yan yung pinakita ni Asek Livy kanina, di ba? Self-help. Supposedly ganun yung co-op. We should invest in our capacity development. No? Negosyo ang co-op, di ba? Kahit may support o gobyerno o wala, no? We should strive to develop our business. So tutulong po kami sa Agri-Co-op paano yon, from business planning, strategic planning, etc. Paano natin i-professionalize ang farmers co-ops? No? Hindi na tulad dati na parang widow-widow, no? Na parang ang chairman, parang siya na rin ang manager. Di ba? Narinig nyo yan. Pag nagpunta ng ibang lugar, lahat-lahat, no? Kasama pa kung sino-sino, charge pa sa co-op. No? We need to professionalize our business. No? Kasi it's not our money, it's the members' money. We should be competitive. Paano tayo magiging competitive? Access to finance, enhance our products and commodities. No? Co-op to co-op cooperation. Ayan, pag-usapan natin mamaya. Ang legal framework, enabling environment. Ito po ang hindi nabanggit ni Sir Liv kanina. Sa Korea po, very critical ang policy. No? Very critical po ang policy. Meron po silang batas na nagsasabi that there's only one agricultural cooperative federation. And that is NECF, Nongyop. Kaya nung galing kami sa Korea, ito yung pinopost namin sa office ni Secretary. No? Ipagkita ko mamaya, sir. So, yun po yung pillars ng Agri-Co-PH. Then later, I will explain yung services. Sige po, ma'am. Yan. Training and consultancy, agribusiness development. Meron din kaming savings and credit, Agri-Co-op health, supply and marketing. Okay, next po. So, we have 5. Yan. Training and consultancy. Okay, meron kaming tools for enterprise development. At paano natin, ano pong intro sa isang agribusiness development? Of course, next po, ma'am. Kailangan natin assess sa sarili natin. No? And we have a lot of tools. Hindi po kami gumagawa ng bagong tools. We have enterprise assessment tool from APA. We have AFA. No? We have cooperative health check from Agritera. No? I think some of you are familiar. We have organizational capacity development from TRIAS. Internal control system from DGRB. M4 assessment tool from ICDI Boca. Financial institution assessment tool or co-op self-assessment tool. We have a lot of tools, no? Kasi mahalaga po to, no? Bago tayo magplano, kailangan i-assess natin ang sarili. Saan tayo nagkulang? So, yan yun po yung scores. Mayroon ba tayong inclusion? Mayroon ba tayong, ano po yung leadership and governance system natin? Kumusta yung financial health? No? Kumikita ba tayo? No? Or baka for the last 30 years, ang share capital ng co-op, 30,000 pa rin. Tapos ang chairman, in the 30 years of this co-op, 3,000 lang ang share capital. It's not good governance. It's not good financial health check. No? Matagal ka na sa co-op, sabi mo negosyo, pero yung inambag mo sa negosyo, barya. No? So, services delivery, advocacy and networking. Okay? Sige po, next. Ayan. So, ang Agri-Co po na provide ng mga trainings, not only compliance, hindi na po yung compliance. We have a lot of federations doing that. NATCO, I've been a chair of NATCO. No? Expert yung NATCO dyan sa savings and credit. Hindi po yan trabaho ni Agri-Co-op. Saan kami pupunta? We will focus on the agribusiness side. Managing your agricultural cooperatives, governance and management in agriculture co-ops, marketing, financial management, farmers enterprise, including, sir, clustering approach. No? Mahalaga po dito sa farmers enterprise training at saka yung sa clustering approach, gawin nating institutional. No? Yun nga nabang question kanina. Yung sa local government po, hindi po kaya ng local government extension workers kung mayroon kang hundreds of cooperatives. Hindi po kakayanin. So ano pong solusyon? Tayo po, si Co-op, tayo ang mag-extension work sa ating mga members. That's the model. That's the way they do it in Japan, in Vietnam, etc. And meron tayong successful models. You visited, of course, Lamak. Di ba? Lamak. Of course, malaki na sila. But they invested, no, from small. 2 tao, 3 tao. Ngayon, they have 36 extension workers for their farmers members. Hindi yan umaasa sa government. Support yung government, no? So yun po, no? Yun sa farmers enterprise. Yan po ang gusto naming i-develop sa Agri-Co-op. I-establish natin ang business development service unit ng bawat agriculture co-op. No? At magiging agri-extension provider ang co-op. Okay? From production to marketing. Sige po. So yan po yung mga trainings. Youth in agriculture. No? Ayan. Pag sinasabi nating paano i-encourage ang youth into farming, ay Hindi po ako magsasalita. 50 years old na po ako. Ang speaker po namin are youth. Sila po yung nagsishare. Sila po ang nag-advocate. Yung sa gitna, they are champions of the competitions, no? From coffee, no? Even yung sa Ahmad, no? Yan. Nag-coffee cupping, no? So meron din silang mga trainings on their own. Sila ang nagtapatakbo, no? Mahalaga po yan, not only youth but even women. Okay? Next po. We have partnership in ATI Caraga on extension. Then we also promote regenerative agriculture practices, no? Yan po. Ano? Dahil sa challenge natin sa environment, di po ba? Ano? So we have trainings po on biosolutions, soil amendments, no? In fact, kailan ba yung training natin sa in situ sa Lamak? Next month na yon, no? So we have actually conducting in situ test the training in Lamak next month, no? On biosolutions at the same time, agri-entrepreneurship. We also conduct co-op-to-co-op learning exchange, trade expo, commodity fora, no? Yan, sa SIDC, yung coffee and cooperatives, no? Yung coffee competition. Yan. We have also local exchanges and trade expo. Next po. Okay? Oh, sir. Hindi pa pumunta si sir sa, kailan ba ako pumunta? I think February last year or March last year. Kailan ka sir pumunta ng ano? April. Hindi ka kita nabon. July. Okay. Si Ma'am Alili at the time, no? Ayan. So, pumunta po kami sa Korea, no? We facilitate po learning exchange, no? Kasi yun nga tama yun si sir, yun ang model natin. It's Korea or Japan, no? At ilang punta na po kami dyan, no? And we bring cooperatives to be exposed, no? Tama yon, may ibang context, pero tatlo po yung difference, no? Yung sabi ko kanina, yung cooperation, no? Yung co-op to co-op, at pangatlo yung policies, no? JEZ, no? Sa Japan. Yung isa naman, JEZINZO, yun of cooperatives. Very strong, dahil a lot of members are members of cooperatives at mayroong isang federation, no? Sige, next po. Ayan, business development. Sige, next po. So, sumporta po kami sa mga value chain analysis, business plans, no? And even access to resources, no? With the government and even the private sector. Okay? Mayroon kaming tinatawag na farmer network store or cooperative co-farm factory models, no? I-present ko mamaya. Next po. Yan. Ayan, sa seaweeds, no? In SOIMCO, conduct kami ng technical discussion, business operations review, no? Ayan, with the private sector. We link co-ops to government projects, no? PRDP, tinutulungan namin yung iba gawa ng proposal, no? Yung business review, tapos yung BIFAR or even yung NDA, no? Or Philippine Cooperative Center. Ito po yung mga co-ops na na-partner namin, no? Agribusiness, no? Sa Barbasa, like rice processing, sa Santo Niño, no? Tapos yung iba naman sa dairy. Okay? Hindi ko na lang isa-isahin yan. Yan po, yung mga technical assistance namin sa mga partners. Nandito yata ang Bohol Dairy, no? Ayan, tapos Silver Bay in Misamis Oriental. Then Kagmafico in Kabasalan. Okay? So yun, nandito yata yung Kabasalan, no? Yung paggawa nila ng sir, ng Talaba, kami po gumawa ng business plan doon, no? We facilitate in the business planning. Sige po. Okay? Meron po tayong hub, no? Ayan. Kakao hub, nandito po si Barb ko, no? Panahon na po, no? Na talagang seryosuhin ang hub, ang cluster. In India, isang regional state, di ba? Malaki ang India eh. Isang state, isang federation lang po ng dairy cooperative. And they produce 200 plus dairy products. Hindi po magsilbi po na bawat probinsya mayroong processing. Yung may challenge nga sa dairy farmers, di ba? Ayan. So, even in other commodities, kailangan po tayo magtulungan. In Davao, dito ba yung Bidico, nandyan yung Barbco, nandyan yung Kapalong. Kailangan po mag-usap-usap. Hindi po, magasto po sa gobyerno bawat co-op bibigyan ng processing center. Di po ba, sir? Magasto po. At hindi po sustainable. No? So kailangan po mag-usap-usap. So mayroon tayong Cacao Hub, mayroong Rice Hub, mayroong Dairy Hub. Sa Northern Mindanao, mayroong Federation of Dairy Cooperatives, no? Ayan. Kasi malaki po ang investment at malaki po ang kailangan gawin, no, to make this hub sustainable. Sige po, next. Meron kaming savings and credit, no? Ayan, next po. Ito actually is very minimal sa aming service, no? Kasi hindi man to ang focus. Pero meron kami. Meron kaming Arise in respond to the needs of the farmers during COVID, no? We have a grant from IFAD, no? International Fund for Agriculture Development. We also accept time deposits. Meron kaming agri-loans. At meron po kaming bagong product na titawag na Cooperative Resiliency Mechanism or CRM Fund. Meron po kaming 2 million donated by USAID and merong mga co-ops na nag-pledge, no? Like NATCO, MASPEC, Climbs, etc. Yung CRM Fund would focus on diversified production, no? If you look at the picture, no? Yung organic, pwede din. Then pwede din for yung mga co-ops na affected by calamities, no? Meron tayong product dyan. Tinatawag naming CRM Fund, no? Okay, next po. Ayan. Hopefully, ma-approve po yung ano namin with ACPC. Nandito po sa ACPC. Wala na, no? So yan, meron kaming meeting with Ma'am Lopez, no? We have submitted 3 business plan and hopefully by next year, no? Hopefully by next year, magiging conduit po kami ng 20 co-ops, mga 100 to 300 million. Hindi po ito ACPC on production. Fund ito for working capital, no? And for trading. Sa co-op level enterprise, hindi sa farmers enterprise, no? So, ongoing yung discussion namin at hopefully, nasa review na ng office ni Ma'am Lopez at hopefully by next month, ma-approve na po yung 3 business plans namin. Okay? We are partner of Climbs in the Weather Protect Insurance. Diyan naman po yung PCIC, okay din naman po yon, no? Pero ito, ibang product that focus on weather insurance, no? Drought and rainfall. Okay? Sige po. Next. Meron kaming agri-health. Ang agri-health namin is not basically co-op, no? Or agri-co-op ang nagpapatakbo, but in partnership, no, with one co-op health. No? Meron kaming health insurance na mas mura, 2,000 pesos, no, per farmer. No? Yung details, i-discuss na lang po namin later. Okay? Next po. Then we have also supply and marketing. Ito yung major business ni Agri-Co-op. No? Meron kaming brand na tinatawag na Co-op Farm Factory. No? Yan po sa Cebu, sa Cordoba. No? It's a hub. Yun po yung sa Korea. Sa Korea po, galing farmer, pinapautang ni Nong Yop. Kinikonsolidate po ni Nong Yop. Mayroon po silang centralized packaging facility. Yung packaging facility, nagyan ng brand, nilagay po sa mall na may-ari Nong Yop. Di ba po, sir? Yun yung model. Exactly. May logistics pa yan. Ano? So, yun. So, ito, sa Co-op Farm Factory namin, at saka supply and marketing, we engage government, no? DepEd, no? DSWD. So far, in 2024, we're able to trade around 83 million pesos, no? No? Sa DepEd, in Luzon, Cebu, and Naga. Ano pong model? Ang model po namin, kung mayroong bid, mayroong call, may opportunity, tinatawagan po namin yung co-op na member namin. Kaya maganda po magiging member kayo. Sir, may bidding. Kaya nyo ba mag-bid? Oh, so sinong rice? Sir, wala kaming PhilChips, hindi kami ano. Okay ba? Agri-co-op mag-bid. Ikaw ang mag-supply. Ang si Agri-co-op is just a facilitator. Pero bakit kailangan natin gawin? Para, market yan gobyerno, sigurado. Okay lang, matagal ang bayad. Magkano, ilan ba? 1 month? Okay lang. No? Kami po tataya kay si Agri-co-op po. Pero ang mahalaga, will able to maximize the market. And government is one of the biggest market. No? O sino ngayon ang nabibid? Whether IFR, kasaba, vegetables, etc. No? Yun po ang model, no? Pero kung may co-op na willing dyan sa local area, anong kailangan nyo? Financing? O, tataya si agri-co-op. Anong kailangan nyo? Logistics? Hanapan ng paraan ni agri-co-op. Ang importante, co-op will be able to engage the market. No? Yan po, sige po. Yan, meron tayong competitive bidding, no? Yung si Umaganhan, banana, si Carmen, rice, no? Sample of the pictures, sige po. Okay? Ito po sa Marikina at saka Cebu, rice naman, IFR, Iron 45 rice. Okay? Nag-supply po kami sa mga DepEd, no? In NCR, Cebu, and Bohol, ito po yung mga co-ops nga na nag-engage. Sige po. Mga pictures lang. No? Ito po yung mga products, no? Enhanced Nutriban, Iron 45, vegetables, kalamansi juice, eggs, oatmeals, no? We engage also private sector. Bakit? Bakit nang engage si agri-co-op? Isayang yung opportunity. Mag-bid tayo. Walang source locally. Kung may co-op sana dyan, co-op sana ang supplier. Pero hindi nga nagkaisa Kanya-kanya Walang volume. Maraming kausapin. So, private sector, mayroon tayong supplier, mayroong cooperatives, mayroong farmers association, or mga bagsakan market. Sige po. Maliban sa government, we also facilitate co-op products to different market segments. No? Yung bangos, yan. Mayroon tayong 5 co-op farm factory ngayon. Marikina, Cebu, and later in Davao. Next week in Cagayan de Oro, in Butuan, and soon in Siargao, and soon also in Cagayan de Oro. Next po. So yan po yung mga co-ops, no, na nagtulungan po namin. Si Barbco, no? We partner with Glocor. Kaya yung mga tablian ni Barbco, nandyan na sa mga supermarkets, no? Sige, next po. Yan. Public food procurement. Si Agri-Co-op nag-engage. In 2024 pa lang to, we engaged 409 million sa DepEd tsaka DSWD. Okay? Ayan. So ito po yung Co-op Farm Factory, no? Meron na in Cebu, Marikina. August 8, opening kami sa Butuan, sir. Opening na tayo sa Butuan. Davao, ipapakita ko mamaya. And then soon in Cagayan de Oro. And in Siargao. No? Sige po. Ang objectives po ng Co-op Farm Factory is magiging consolidator ang Agri-Co-op. Mayroon pong models. Pwedeng si Agri-Co-op mag-manage ng facility. Pwede po kayo. No? Kung gusto nyo magiging KFF, kayo po ang mag-operate doon. Tutulong po sa Agri-Co-op paano ipatakbo yung business. Gamitin nyo yung brand ni Co-op Farm Factory. Mag-bulk purchase of inputs tayo, no? Mayroong mga multipurpose cooperatives, may mga tindahan, lalong-lalo na sa walang gutom program. Nag-accredit na ba kayo? Ang Agri-Co-op po, kinausap si Unilever, kumakausap po kay Coca-Cola, kukausapin po yung pangatlo, Lani? Unilever, Nestle. Kasi kanya-kanya po tayo kumukuha ng goods, di po ba? Kanya-kanya po yung ma-co-op. Iba-iba pong presyo. Pero pag isang city, isa lang ang supplier, kausapin natin si Unilever, mas cheap yung volume. At isa yung logistics. No? Okay? Balikan lang po. Balik lang po konti. Ayan, import of input supplies and agricultural machineries. Malaysia, hindi naman sila nang produce ng agricultural machineries. May government, tapos ang Agri-Co-op Federation ang nag-supply. No? Yung sinasabi nating yung nano fertilizers, we are actually mahal ngayon. Magkano ngayon ang urea? Magkano na? 1.5? Magkano na ngayon ang 1.5, 1.6? Alam natin mura yan from China, from Kazakhstan, from Russia, or even from India. Isang co-op po, Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative. We are engaging. Nagmi-meeting kami last week. Hopefully, mag-import po tayo ng shipload of inputs from India. Kausap natin si ACDI, Multipurpose Cooperative. No? At ito, magiging supplier tayo sa mga co-ops. Pero wala tayong data. Sir, sa co-op sa Bohol, ilan ang kailangan mo na urea or potash? Wala tayong ganong data or information. Okay, so yan sa mga isang objective ng Co-op Farm Factory. Next po, ito, exciting to. Sino pong taga Region 11? Sino pong taga Region 11? Alam niyo po, proyekto ni Sir eh. No? Nasasayangan po, no? 15% unutilized yung Davao Food Terminal Complex. Malaki po ang gastos ng gobyerno. Sino pong nagtitinda doon? Association, isang bangkita, 10. Anong pong proposal? We are proposing to the city government. Kami po, Agri-Co-op, tayo po, Agri-Co-op. We will operate that Davao Food Terminal Complex. No? Ang mag-display doon, mga agricultural cooperatives. No? Ayan. We will be, nagdalawang business plan na kami. And by next month, i-present namin sa City Council. And of course, with the support ng DA, ma-approve tayo, sir. No? Agri-Co-op will operate that Davao Food Terminal Complex. Magiging po siyang, sir, parang bulk purchase sa Nongyup. But kailangan natin ng policy support. No? Yan. Sige po. Yan. Ang role po ni Agri-Co-op doon sa Davao Food Terminal Complex, facility management. Tayo po ang mag-manage. No? Tayo po mag-manage. Okay? Sino ang mag-display? Magkano ang display? Paano gamitin yung cold storage facility? Siya din po ang mag-aggregate. Mag-engage po siya ng mga institutional buyers. Oy, BJMP, kailangan namin ng mga vegetables. Okay, i-facilitate ni Agri-Co-op. Oy, SM, hotel or Robinson's Hotel, ito kailangan i-facilitate po ni Agri-Co-op. Mag-usap lang po tayo sa business transactions, no? And then, of course, public procurement. Hindi po pa kanya-kanya, no? Sige po. So, iyan po yung strategy ni DFTC Davao, no? And hopefully, ma-approve po yan. Next po. Ayan. Ito po yung major moves. Major moves, parang chess. First, Agri-Co-op is positioning itself, no? Nag-usap na kami ni TESDA. We will establish an agricultural cooperative academy in the Philippines. In partnership with Cebu Technological University in Bareilly. Yan pong picture sa gitna, it's a 12 hectares. Hopefully, ma-approve by next week, August 4 and 5, second business planning namin. No? I-approve na si Agri-Co-op ang mag-manage ng 12 hectares. We will establish a farm school. At the same time, a in-situ. Sorry, hindi ko nasulat, no? We will be offering in-situ training. Kaya may pilot kami sa Lamak next month, no? So, ma-accredit kami ng TESDA. Yang sa Bareilly, magtayo tayo ng farm school. At isa lang yung accreditation natin sa TESDA. We will also develop branches nationwide. Okay? Hindi po namin pakialaman yung existing farm school nyo na mayroon na existing. Pero sino yung interested na willing mag-farm school, di ba? Kasi turuan natin ng in-situ, turuan natin ng regenerative agriculture, turuan natin ng agri-entrepreneurship, in-situ, no? So, yung license na gamitin ninyo, yung license ni Agri-Co-op. Isa lang, hindi na tayo kanya-kanya. No? Basta may capacity kayo. And we will connect. Kung wala kayong school, i-connect natin sa mga co-ops na mayroong facilities. No? At kayo yung mga magiging resource person. Kasi tayo man ang mga farmers. No? Farmer entrepreneurs, practitioners. No? So, isa lang pong license yan sa TESDA, farm school, at saka in-situ, mag-offer tayo. Umpisahan natin sa CTU Bareilly sa Cebu, and ikalat natin yan across. No? Yung Salamak, magiging branch ng Agri-Co-op, or sino ba yung mga co-op na willing mag-partner dito, magiging branch. No? Okay, so yan po. At we'll also provide continuing professional development for agriculturists. Second move po, next. Okay, ito po. No? Farmers, co-op and farmers profiling system. Sir, maganda pag-usapan natin ito sa DA. No? I'm sure mayroong initiatives. No? Pero gusto sana natin, isang pindot ng computer. No? Kailangan na natin ng data. Pag sinabi ni DepEd na, oy, kailangan namin ng atsal, nako, si Lani po, yung SMS namin, hindi po makasagot. Tatawag pa yan sa co-op. Oy, may ano ka? Atsal ka? Pero kung may system tayo, across the Philippines, isang pindot ng computer, lalabas sino yung mga co-ops na nag-produce ng atsal, no? Or kaya kailangan ng IFR, or kailangan ng gulay, etc., no? So, meron tayong co-op profile, no? So, sino ba sa atin naggawa ng profile, no? Nasa ano lang, nasa papel lang, nasa Excel lang. Kailangan natin, no? To be able to engage the market effectively. Okay? So, co-op profile at the members profile. Kailangan po yan, no? So that the agri-dealers, alam natin kung anong kakailangan, no? Volume ng inputs kailangan, no? Hindi natin alam, no? Parang estimate lang po, no? Ilan ang kailangang urea, potash, estimate. Hindi natin alam kailan, no? O, kailan nagtanim ng broccoli, kailan nagtanim ng cabbage, kailan i-harvest. Kailangan natin yung information. So yung co-op at saka members profile, in every co-op, isang pindot ng computer, lalabas yung data. Tapos yung data ng co-op ninyo, pag-isahin natin yan sa buong Pilipinas, pag nag-engage tayo ng market, ng government, alam natin saan kukunin yung mga produkto. No? So yun po kahalaga ng profiling system. At may dalawang provider po ang nakapag-usap na sa amin at hopefully balance natin ito by next year. Actually, ongoing yung system, no? Ini-enhance pa lang namin, no? So, yung co-op and members profiling system. Next po. Third move. Ito po, mahalaga po, enhancing participation in national governing bodies. Director Bong, pakiabot po kay Yusek at kay Secretary. Agrico PH is interested, no? To be a member of the Farmers and Fisherfolks Enterprise Development Council. Kailangan natin ng boses doon. As a farmers cooperative, no? Kailangan nating mag-engage in the, wala pa kaming representative sa National Agriculture Fisheries Council. So, other DA national multisectoral bodies. Kailangan natin mag-engage sa IPAP, DSWD. No? Para may kutuwang ang gobyerno, no? Yung mga agencies, meron silang kausap na institution, composed of the federation. Refiling of agricultural cooperative law. Sir, yung galing po kami sa Korea, although ako pa ilang beses na ako sa Korea, pero yung last visit namin, sir, ito talaga ang output. At nag-submit po kami sa Congress na magkaroon ng batas on agriculture cooperative. Mayroon po tayong CDA, cooperative law. But CDA, limitado din naman yung budget. Pwede siyang developmental, pwede siyang training, pwede siyang regulation, but yung very core ng development, sir, dapat nasa DA. Nasa DA ang resources, nasa DA ang capacity. Ano? Yan po ang batas sa Korea. Yan po ang batas sa Japan. And I've studied a lot of cooperative laws in Asia Pacific. Mahalaga po ang may sariling batas on agriculture cooperative law. No? Kung nare-remember nyo, hindi pa naman ako buhay noon, yung bakod, sir, di ba? Magaling yung bakod, maganda yung objective na politicize. No? Pero maganda yung purpose, very focused. No? Sana hindi magtampo si CDA dito, pero yun yung tingin namin sa Agrico PH. Agrico developmental support, kasi nandun man yung resources, should be under. Dapat yung Agri-Enterprise Cooperative Services, Enterprise Development Service, dapat magiging department yan ng DA. Diba, sir? Yun po ang pinal namin na batas. Inaabutan na ng ilang Congress, katapos na ng SUNA. Ilabi namin ulit sa Congress. May kausap tayo, si Co-op Natco Party List. May kausap tayo sa Senate. Kasi mahalaga po yan. No? Pag sinabi natin Magna Carta for Farmers, mahalaga po yan. And other enabling agri-related laws, mahalaga po yan. Mahalaga po yung pinakita ko kaninang pilar. Hindi lang po negosyo. Kung gusto natin mag-succeed, kailangan po ng batas. Sa Korea, Japan po, nagpapakamatay sila pag hindi ma-approve ng legislature yung batas na gusto nila. Ganon sila katindi. They have representatives in Congress. No? Yung NECF, yung mga nakausap ninyo na mga anon, it's the legislators actually. Mayroon silang representative in the policy-making body in the legislation. Also in Japan. No? Mahalaga po yon. Ayan, IRR on GP amendments, no? Yung Government Procurement Policy Board, yung Co-op Code, no? Mga IRR, etc. Okay, so mahalaga po yung policy development. Okay? Next po. So yun po yung 3 major moves. At ito, last 3 slides. You are invited po on October 15, 2025 in Ayala, Cebu. Mayroon po tayong Knowledge, Innovation, and Trade Expo 2.0, Farmers Connect. A food procurement forum a trade expo and learning visit po. It's a 5 days event or 4 days event in Ayala. Lahat po na agri-co-ops mag-display po natin. I-engage po natin si DSWD. I-engage natin si DepEd. Ano yung programa nila? Paano kami makapag-supply sa inyo? No? And pupunta po tayo sa Lamac, sa FCCT, sa Pistales, no? At mayroon po mga discussion, imbitahin natin si Senator Kiko. We will invite Food Agricultural Office, no? So it's a 4 days event, no? In collaboration with CDA and of course DA, no? And Co-op Chamber of the Philippines, CLIMB, ECDI, NATCO, DJRB, APA, and Cebu Hotels and Restaurants Association. No? So hopefully, we will send the communications and hopefully you can participate in this trade expo. No? Kailangan natin ipakita, no, na marami ng mga produkto ang mga co-ops. Sige po. Okay? So, for contacts, yan po. No? Ako po yung CEO. Oh, pasensya, nakabarong yan kasi congress ko pa yan na picture. But I'm a farmer, no? Also, no? So, you can take photos, no? Si Lani Jimenez, Lani, tayo ka muna. Pagkilala ka, yan. Puntahan yung si Lani, no? Pag sabi mong food procurement, trading, no? Engaging government, marketing, si Lani po yan. Si Marisa sa Visayas, no? Marisa, tayo ka muna. Kung gusto mag-apply ng membership, meron yan, no? Ayan. Ayan. Si Lourdes, siya ang Imrad sa Mindanao, based sa Davao. Ayan, no? Parang artista, no? And then si Praxidis, si Babes, tayo ka. Siya po yung agri-specialist natin on regenerative agriculture, biosolutions, no? Siya po yon. So, next po. So, yan lang po and maraming salamat po sa panahon and hopefully, no? Na-inspire po tayo sa presentation, not only the experience of agri-co-op, but I'm actually also sharing the realities on the ground, the realities and challenges of the agri-sector, and also looking at the experiences of other countries. No? So, maraming salamat po at magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat.
Ayan, mabuhay rin po kayo, Sir Jojo, at ang inyong co-op. So hopefully, marami tayong na-inspire na maging member na rin ng co-op. With that, may we present to you your certificate po. But before that, yes, Q&A muna po tayo pala. If there are any questions, maaari niyo pong erase kay Sir Jojo. So I'm seeing none. Baka po pong ng ating mga participants. Last call pa, any questions, comments, or suggestions? None so far. So tuloy na tuloy ang ating pag-award ng certificate. Certificate of Appreciation is given to Sir Jose Romeo B. Ebron. Ayan, let us give a round of applause to Sir Jojo. Ayan, muli, pinagtanong po natin from AgriCo PH, Sir Jose Romeo. So I guess we are that's it for the first half of our night. And we will plan for this morning for mga prepare na rin ang ating lunch. So I guess the buffet table is now ready and you may now form your line to get your lunch. Happy lunch, everyone.
And just a reminder po, we will proceed or we will continue the program at 1 o'clock p.m.
Bicol region or Region 5 is composed of 6 provinces. Albay is known for the Mayon volcano with its perfect cone. Camarines Norte is the home of the sweetest pineapple. Camarines Sur is the wakeboarding capital of the Philippines. Catanduanes is the abaca capital of the Philippines. Masbate is the wild west of the south, the rodeo capital of the Philippines. Sorsogon is known as the Butanding capital of the Philippines. There are 6.1 million Bicolanos in the 1.8 million hectares of Bicolandia, with about 700,000 farmers and fishers cultivating 0.9 million hectares. Top 5 rice producer in the country with 40% or over 344,000 hectares of its agriculture area is devoted to rice. We also have corn, abaca, coconut, pili, cacao, pineapple, and taro. We are famous. Pili is an export commodity of Bicol which comprises 84% of the Philippines' production on pili, and we are able to bring it to the United States and Asian countries. In 2023, pili was able to make it to the European market. We are top producer of taro or gabi leaves with our average of 20,000 metric tons production in 2022, making our land known for laing and pinangat. Our kamote or sweet potato with 93,000 metric tons produced in 2022 made Bicol second largest producer in the country. The Formosa Queen pineapple of Camarines Norte placed Bicol region as the third largest producer of pineapple in the country, contributing 6.14% national share. Bicol is also famous for its hot pepper, which puts the region as the fourth largest producer with about 1,500 metric tons production or 14% share in national output. We focus on farm clustering and consolidation, having 29,000 hectares of agricultural areas clustered under the F2C2, comprising 128 clusters, 250 farmer cooperatives and associations, and 33,000 members. Bicol remains bird flu free for our chicken and duck production. Bicol ranks 6th among the regions in cattle production and 7th in carabao production. We even have our regional carabao breeding center in Masbate. Despite the region's continuous battle with the African swine fever, Bicol ranked 8th in hog production in 2023, contributing 5.92% share to the national output. We move forward. We prioritize food safety and the prevention and control of animal and plant diseases with our integrated laboratories complex, which houses the Regional Soils Laboratory, Regional Crops Protection Center, Regional Animal Disease Diagnostic Laboratory, Regional Feeds Analysis Laboratory. We are proud of our Rice Climate Mitigation Center. Being supported by the DA is the Adaptation Mitigation Initiatives in Agriculture or AMIA, which has 15 AMIA villages established, producing an awardee of Philippine Resilience Awards, Miss Mila Bongalbal of Oroan, TV Albay. We continue to serve. With the implementation of the different banner programs of the DA, the rice program, corn, high-value crops, livestock and poultry, organic agriculture, and halal food industry development program, and with a special project such as Philippine Rural Development Project or PRDP, Special Area for Agriculture Development or SAAD. Among others, the DA Bicol is aggressively pushing the agricultural development of the Bicol region and delivery of our services to attain the twin goals of masaganang agrikultura at maunlad na ekonomiya. We are being visited by typhoons, we experience earthquakes as well as volcanic eruptions, but we remain resilient, for we are the Oragons. Welcome to Bicol.